What's going on? Something negative was in the air. I've been feeling like that for a really long time. So, we're going to be talking about the Sermon on the Mount today, guys. Before we even get into this, I'm going to kind of give you guys a brief description of what the Sermon on the Mount actually is. Class just started. Everything is good, man. Everything's good under the sun this morning. I'm feeling so good this morning, guys. Honestly, man, I woke up smiling. I was smiling last night. I was smiling yesterday. And it's all in the name of releasing expectations, guys, and just being your authentic self. And that's something I haven't been fully being for a while now for many different reasons. But we're going to be talking about all that stuff more later on tonight. I kind of want to catch as many people as I possibly can, especially on my day ones. I've been keeping something really close to the chest, a creative idea that I've been cooking for a while. I've been praying to God quite a bit about it as well, and I'm super excited to drop this on you guys, man. That's just one of many. We got a lot of good ideas, I think, anyway, guys, in my humble opinion, that we're going to be dropping on the channel here really soon, man. And just look at the smile, bro. It's obviously something I needed, man. That's all I'm saying. But this morning, it's all about the book of Matthew, so we're going to try to keep it as focused up as possible this morning, man. But class just started. I know that you're a targeted individual. My heart goes out to you, and I really pray, I hope and pray that those people haven't been giving you too tough of a time, okay? And anytime you need to talk to somebody about that, always, any time of day, feel free, just get a hold of me, drop a comment or email me. If my email's not up on the bio, guys, I've been hearing people say that. I thought that it was. If it's not, I'll fix that today, okay? I'll fix that today. But anyway, Sermon on the Mount. This is going to be starting in chapter 5 of the book of Matthew, and this is regarded as the most important sermon that was literally ever preached in the history of time, and it's preached by Jesus himself. So let's get into this, guys. I'm going to give you guys a brief description of what the Sermon on the Mount actually is, and then we're literally just going to get into it, guys. We're going to talk about it. We're going to go over it. I can ask questions, or you guys can ask questions. Feel free. I'd love to answer questions and stuff. So let's go. Chapters 5, 6, and 7 contain Jesus' sermon called the Sermon on the Mount, the most well-known sermon ever preached. It was delivered at the time in Christ's ministry when he was presenting the kingdom promised long ago. It proclaims the constitution of that kingdom and applies in a particular sense to the government as it will be when Christ returns to reign. And yes, it's talking about our government, guys, which is absolutely crazy that they're talking about stuff like that over 2,000 years ago. This stuff is very important, guys. I'm telling you, man. So, Christians, those who have been born again through faith in the Son of God, are heirs of the kingdom. That's why I call all you chosen, kings and queens, people that follow Christ willingly every single day. You keep your eyes focused upon him. In his eyes, you are regarded as an heir to the kingdom of heaven. And the kingdom of heaven is actually going to be established here on earth. And we're in the beginning to mid stages of all that stuff, guys. I believe we're in the period of peace right now. As it says in Revelation, it says one man will come and bring peace to all the nations for 3.5 years. And just judging by what I'm seeing from Donald Trump, it does seem like God is really using that guy really heavily. The only thing that we can do is pray for him, that he gets closer to God every single day. He's not a perfect human being. I'm not a perfect human being. Nobody is. The only one that was ever perfect is Jesus Christ. And that's why we need to focus on him so heavily. But from all the stuff I've been paying attention to, I feel like we're in the period of peace for 3.5 years. And that is like the beginning to mid stages of the book of Revelation and the prophecy from John in the book of Revelation. Okay, guys? So, we are regarded as the heirs of the kingdom of heaven, and as such, they should endeavor through Christ and his Spirit to live as closely as possible to the principles presented in this sermon. This is why the Sermon on the Mount is so important. It's basically a guide on how we're supposed to be living our life, guys, okay, as Christians, all right? The message of the Sermon on the Mount is not for the unsaved. There is no gospel in the Sermon on the Mount. The way of salvation is not declared within it, okay? Very important to know as well. And before we even get into this, there are many times where Jesus says the word blessed. And what he means by that is people that are happy or joyous. Verses 3 through 12 contain what are known as beatitudes. Those who are said to be happy are in that state, not through anything that they do, but because of who and what they are. Oh my goodness, we're cooking this morning, bro. I literally just experienced this yesterday, man. The Lord had to sit me down. If you guys are wondering why I didn't do this live stream yesterday, I was going to. That was my plan plan was to do the stream yesterday. And I really had like a profound experience with God, man. He had to sit me down. He had to talk to me. He had to kind of put some stuff in my spirit. And I finally sat down and listened. Sometimes, man, I am just so go. And I'm so worried about helping all of you guys out that sometimes I forget to even allow God to work on me. That is not something that I can do going forward, not with the stuff that I'm trying to build here on the channel. I got to be taking care of myself as much as humanly possible so I can help you guys the best way I possibly can. And if you're not taking care of yourself, this is a really important thing to remember as an empath. You have to be able to love yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to love your neighbor the best way you possibly can if you're not treating yourself right, if that makes any type of sense, guys, okay? I'm not commenting because I'm listening. Oh, class just started. Yeah, don't worry, guys. We're gonna be getting into it today, boys. Okay, and I am gonna be doing a live stream later on for anyone that's just joining the stream. A really important live stream for all of my day ones, or for anybody that just joined the channel recently, even. Okay. But just to briefly talk about it, we're gonna be incorporating the gospel in my spiritual lessons and a lot of my creative endeavors going forward. This is something that's really important to me. I'm not going to be able to kind of get this message across in the most authentic and positive way possible if I'm not being myself. And because of all the spiritual warfare I've been dealing with, especially the last like 3 months, it's been it's been pretty excessive, guys. I tell you guys all the time, the closer you get to the Lord, the more the enemy is going to try to attack you and plant seeds in your mind, seeds of doubt, telling you you're not good enough to walk with Jesus Christ, this, that, and the third. Something you guys really need to kind of pay attention to and watch out for if you're in your walk deeply with Jesus as well, okay? So let's get into this. We're starting in chapter 5, guys, the Sermon on the Mount. And this is Jesus Christ basically prophesying, okay? And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit. Now, let's remember what he means by blessed, happy or joyous, not through anything that they do, not for their works, but because of who and what they are, the salt of the earth, the light of the earth, guys. Positivity, unconditional love, grace, forgiveness. These are the qualities that are very, very important to have as a Christian. And when you kind of take the spot of thinking that you're so deep in your walk spiritually, or you're so deep in your walk with Jesus Christ that you start pointing your finger at other people and making them feel like they're less than because they might have just started their walk. But this is what a lot of Christians do. And the devil, the enemy, he was starting to kind of get me on that path as well, guys. If you guys have been around for a while, you probably noticed that I haven't been quite as smiley as I normally am, or quite as positive as I normally am. Yeah, there are a lot of reasons for that, guys. That's why we're doing that stream later on tonight. Super important, guys. But anyway, enough about that. Okay? Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And meek does not mean weak. Meek, we're called as Christians to be something regarded in the Bible as wise as serpents, but soft as doves. You want to have the capacity to stand up for yourself, but you also want to have the emotional self-control to kind of be able to be silent in the face of adversity. Silence is always higher in the spirit than somebody that's going to argue back with people that are trying to poke and prod you guys. And if you're dealing with gang stalking, you deal with this literally on a daily basis, guys. Trust me. The best piece of advice I could give for a targeted individual, you know, the more I look back on my situation, if I'm being 100% honest, the more I tried to ignore what they were doing to me, that's basically, you know, showing the Lord that you're giving the entire situation to him. That's really when his power gets fully activated. That's when they all start getting their karma and stuff like this. Not that we should be rejoicing in the karma of our enemies. Absolutely not. And Jesus is going to be speaking about that here as we turn this page. Okay, guys? So let's just continue here. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Another, quality of somebody who is meek is somebody that is easily imposed upon. So when somebody needs your help or somebody asks you for your help, you say yes every time. Don't even think twice about it. Don't even think twice about it. Even if you're not in a position, you know, help doesn't always mean financial help, guys. Help could be advice. Help could be somebody just lifting another person up with positivity, giving them a hug, being a friend, and listening to somebody in their struggles. A lot of people just really need somebody to listen to them. There are different ways that you can be imposed upon. I try to do this as much as I possibly can. I'm always trying to extend my hand and stuff and just be that example, guys. And trust me, God sees that every single time. But never, and I do mean never, go out of your way to help somebody because you want validation. So what I mean by that, don't be like a lot of these content creators nowadays, guys. They're going around taking videos of homeless people, giving them dinner and stuff like that for views and stuff. because they want everybody to see their good deed. That Jesus says explicitly and specifically not to do it that way. You want to do these things in private between you and God is going to see that and bless you openly. That's exactly what the scripture says, guys. Jacqueline Lane, thank you for the word. Thank you for joining the stream. God bless you. Class just started because I'm an empath too, and it's a balance that has to be achieved. Yes. That's why I just dropped that video a few days ago, guys, talking about maintaining a healthy balance. This is something that I've had to learn myself, especially the last few weeks, man. I just been going so hard every single day, putting on my battle armor every single day. That is actually not what God wants us to do, man. God wants us to be examples of what light looks like. And there are many different qualities of what light looks like. We're about to get into that as we turn the page here, guys. What else do we got here? That's what I was worried about for you. I know God did tell you that. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Class just started. I feel so much better today, guys. I can't wait for that stream later on. I really can't, man. I'm going to be keeping a lot of this information for that live stream so we can get our daily devotional and our daily bread out of the way first, okay? Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled, okay? Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. For any targeted individuals, this is another great reason, scripturally from the words of Jesus Christ himself, why it is so important to show mercy, especially on your enemies, guys. Don't hold bitterness in your heart. Absolutely not, man. Your heart posture is the most important thing with your walk with Jesus. It's not reading the Bible all day, every day. It's not overstudying. It's not trying to be perfect or sinless like God the Father or God the Son. It even explains that here as we go through the Sermon on the Mount. The most important thing is that you guys are walking like Jesus Christ and showing grace to as many people as you possibly can and showing unconditional love, helping people, extending your hand, and really being an example of true light, pure light, okay? And no matter how many people or agents of darkness try to attack you guys, the most important thing you guys can really focus on, nothing that they do can allow you guys to get out of alignment with your Christ consciousness frequency. Do not argue with them. Don't get angry at them. Don't start cursing them out. Don't start yelling at those people. Guys, I'm telling you guys right now, I've learned this the hard way. I've learned it the hard way more than once. You want to forgive them, okay? You want to forgive them as immediately as you possibly can. No matter, even if they continue to attack you, which trust me, they're going to. These people still do this stuff to me on the daily. I'm telling you guys right now. But the best way to get rid of it quicker is to just be that light, because they're not going to continue to do these things. You know what? Eventually, guys, I'll just give you guys the sauce right now. If you are being nice to the people that are being mean to you on a regular basis, eventually they're going to start feeling bad about what they're doing to you. This is how profound Jesus Christ truly is, guys. I mean, I've seen it, man. I was giving compliments to some of my gang stalkers mid-attack. You should have seen the look on their face. It's almost like they shot down immediately, guys. So if you guys want to stop dealing with gang stalking, being able to forgive your enemies is one of the biggest and best things you guys could do, man. Start really working on that. I was struggling with quickness to anger for such a long period of time because of all the attacks I've dealt with and all the narcissism I've had to deal with. But it's all supposed to make you guys stronger in the spirit, guys, and get you closer to God in the first place. He wants to put you in such a crazy situation where you literally have no choice but to give it to God. That is one of the biggest points of gang stalking, okay? It's really a spiritual battle. A lot of people don't understand this. I'm trying to preach that as much as I possibly can. Okay. Yes, not 7 times, but 777 times. Class just started. That was an absolutely amazing and phenomenal comment, okay? As Jesus says, we're not supposed to be keeping count of how many times that we forgive our enemies, guys. And whoever dropped that gift, God bless you, man. Anything you guys donate to the channel really helps me for my basic needs and necessities. I say that when I'm able to, but yeah, God bless you, brother, and your family. Thank you for joining the stream. Jesus isn't his real name. It's the American translation of his name. And listen, a lot of people these days like to say Yahuwah, Yeshua, whatever his Hebrew name. I've explained this in a past live stream. I've used his Hebrew name in prayer several times. I still do sometimes to this day. I don't feel any more convicted by the Holy Spirit when I use a certain translation of his name. There's also another translation of Jesus's name, Emmanuel, but I barely ever use that one. It's all the same thing, guys. You're calling out on Jesus Christ, okay? And because I speak English and I'm an American, I probably say Jesus more than any other translation. But the point is, I don't feel any more convicted by which version of the name I say. You're calling out on the same spirit, okay, guys? That's the important thing, okay? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Listen, this is really important. I was just saying this to you guys. Verse 9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God, the chosen ones, the kings and queens, okay? Blessed are the peacemakers. This is a test, guys. When you're gang stalked, he wants to see, can 100 people attack you and you still smile in their face and show them love? This is a test, and the Lord is paying attention. He's watching you guys every moment of every single day, even when it feels like you're like far off from his presence, guys. I'm telling you right now, he's done this to me. There have been moments where I've literally felt like, God, where are you? I don't feel your presence. He's watching you. He wants to see how you're reacting during the test, okay? And as soon as you can flip your mindset and you can flip your perspective and start seeing it for what it actually is, game over for the gang stalkers, okay? If you guys truly want to win this battle, first off, you have to understand that it's not your fight. It's not your battle. It's God's fight. It's his battle. Vengeance is not ours. Vengeance belongs to the Father. And check this out as we continue here in the Sermon on the Mount. All right. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Does that sound familiar at all, savages? Okay. If you guys are targeted individuals, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil things against you falsely for my sake. Also, really sounds like gang stalking. It's a spiritual battle, guys. And the more we go over the New Testament and stuff, I think I've spent a little bit too much time studying the Old Testament the last few months because we are under the law of Jesus Christ. And I've been getting just straight up barbaric, son, with my mindset and values, man. I've been really going to war with these people, trying to fight them all on my own. And even though I thought I learned my lesson, like I said yesterday, man, God had to sit me down, humble me, talk to me, put some stuff in my spirit, and just kindly remind me, sometimes the best thing to do is to sit still and know that he is God. We are not, okay? Very important to understand that. All right. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So if you guys aren't aware, listen, John the Baptist was the only one that actually was able to live like a long and prosperous life. I say prosperous lightly because they really put that guy to the test. They boiled him alive and he survived it. But all of the other disciples, all 11 of them, were actually murdered for believing in Jesus Christ. They tried to run away from it, from my understanding, for a period of time. And then they ended up coming back. Okay, and they killed all of them. They murdered all of them. And Jesus Christ even told all of the disciples before he was killed that those things were going to happen. And they believed in him so much that they allowed themselves to be killed. So people must have seen something in Jesus Christ when he was walking the earth, guys. And I can tell you from personal experience, I had a lot of profound stuff happen to me yesterday, man. I was calling out on Jesus in a really real way. And immediately when I called out to him, man, I was seeing signs everywhere. I was seeing 144 everywhere. I was seeing 777 everywhere on like license plates and stuff like that. And then I seen a sign that was like very obvious, and it basically wanted me to call out on Jesus. The second I called out on him, this is why it's so important to talk to him about all your problems, guys. You don't want to keep it inside. You don't want to feel like, well, praying isn't going to do anything. Praying is absolutely going to do something, okay? Every single time. And immediately he put such peace and joy inside of me, man. It was absolutely insane. So we'll talk about that more later, but verse 13, this is important as well. I kind of covered this in the video I dropped early this morning. Real quick, we got some comments pouring in, brother. God is so real. He's my father, my provider, my healer. He makes intercessions for us. Jacqueline Lane, God bless you. God bless you. Absolute positivity this morning. There is no heaven. Shall have. If you stick around, maybe we can convert you, brother. Stick around and sub to the channel, man. You're exactly the type of person I'm trying to change the mind of, okay? Not by force, by example. Vengeance is mine, says the Lord. Yes, absolutely, man. We never want to take the vengeance. He was a magician. Who is a magician? Jesus Christ? Are you serious, brother? Come on now. Why the F did Christianity have to be sold by force worldwide? I don't think it is sold by force. We all have free will, guys. We all have free will. We have the decision, to make willingly if we want to follow Jesus Christ or not. But I just want to warn everybody, if you're not for him, that would mean you're against him in the eyes of the Father. Especially if you've heard the truth about Jesus Christ and you still choose to turn your back away from him. And what a lot of people don't understand, this is why, man, I'm going to tell you guys a lot of stuff today, especially in the second stream I do. And it's very important for people to understand that we are not called to be sinless, because we're not sinless. We're living in a fallen world. We're human beings. This is why God sent his one true son down to earth in the first place, because he understood that. He understood that. That's why he died on the cross for us and took on all of our sin, because God loves us so much. He loves us so much. He gave his one true son, who was actually sinless, who lived his entire life, didn't sin one time, sacrificed him, allowed him to be sacrificed because he loves humanity so much. He loves his creation so much, and he knows how much we struggle with sin. So it's very important to understand this type of stuff, guys, okay? Ye are the salt of the earth, the light of the earth, essentially. But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. So if you guys start to allow yourself, and what does he mean by salt, okay? The purpose of salt is to preserve from corruption, as well as give flavor or influence in the case of Christians in the world. So if you're not being a real example, and it's really all about what's sitting in your heart, guys. If you're holding and retaining bitterness or anger, or you're like, you're not the salt of the earth. You're the salty of the earth. Yeah, I joke here, guys. We try to be funny. Okay. You don't want to walk around feeling like that, guys, because you're not really emitting the frequency that you're meant to emit as a Christian, which is unconditional love, light, grace, and forgiveness. Okay. And humbleness at the end of the day. Do you guys ever notice we're living in a time right now in the United States, especially, where people aren't humble for nothing, bro? You could say it's because of social media. I think a big part of it is because of social media. But dude, so many people just feel like their crap doesn't stink, bro. They feel like they're better than the next person. They feel like because of the work that they've done in their life. I fell into this trap in one period of my life, guys. It didn't feel very good. And I'm happy to say I no longer feel like that anymore, okay? But you don't want to start feeling like that, man. First off, if you feel like you're just hot stuff, you're not going to feel like you need God in your life, man. I've experienced this. I see a lot of people that I'm close to, even though we don't talk very much anymore, they suffer with this because of the stuff that they went through. They victimize themselves and start feeling like God has abandoned them. That's absolutely not the case, guys. God allows us to go through struggle to make us stronger. We need adversity as human beings to become stronger. If you're too comfortable, you ain't going to grow. I'm telling you guys right now, man, if you're living in a state of like too much comfortability, you're not going to push yourself in the way that a man needs to be pushed, especially men, to grow and get better, wiser, smarter, stronger, more disciplined. And to listen, this is a topic for another day, but a lot of men in particular feel like, you're not a real man unless you deny yourself all pleasure here on earth. Like, and what I mean by that, I'm not saying to go out and like shoot dope or go to the strip club or stuff like that, but when people get too obsessed about studying the word, and this is something I've learned in my own personal experience, you literally start feeling like, and this goes hand in hand with like recovery and addiction and stuff, guys. If you're forcing yourself to behave a certain way and you're not doing it willingly because you want to do it, you're not going to feel right about it, man. You're not going to be passionate about it. You're not going to be like overjoyed about following Christ. If you're making yourself feel forced to do it, we should all willingly follow Christ because of what he's done in our life and dying on the cross for all of our sins. That's the point and the purpose, man. It's all about how you feel up in your mind and what's sitting in your heart posture, okay? And because I was under such a heavy state of spiritual warfare for so long, dealing with all these witches and warlocks and sorcerers, occult members and voodoo artists, Freemasons, all these people who practice in the occult, I kind of fell in the trap myself of feeling like if I'm not perfect and I'm not completely sinless, then I'm not good enough for God. Even though God's been walking with me for so many years, it's absolutely crazy. I wasn't perfect then, and I'm not perfect now, and I'm also not going to start now. Okay. I'm authentic. I'm the person that God made me to be. And I just want to be an example of that, guys. You don't want to start getting too obsessive and too religious. Then you're kind of walking the path of a Pharisee. And you're going to start pointing your finger like you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. That's what the Pharisees did. That is not what we're doing here, okay? We're trying to follow the ways of Jesus Christ. All right. If you knew magic like the church, you wouldn't need them, right? Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you though, Godspeed, because I've seen it with my own physical eyes. I've met a lot of churchgoers that actually do practice witchcraft. Hey, since I'm able to talk about it right now, I don't have no monitoring spirits around right now. Oh my goodness, okay? So I can talk about it a little bit. But I've got some people in my family that go to church on a regular basis, and they were doing witchcraft on me around Christmas and Thanksgiving, a lot of witchcraft right in front of my face. So that just goes to show you going to church doesn't mean squat. If your heart's not right, it is what it is. You could go to church 7 days a week. It doesn't really matter. You can read the word 7 days a week. But if you're a hateful person, you're trying to hurt innocent people. You're trying to hurt people even if they ain't innocent. Yeah, you're not walking with Jesus Christ, man. And I will say that with 150% confidence, okay? I've experienced this. And it even says in Revelation, a lot of churches will lead the flock astray in the end days, okay? And we're seeing that play out right in front of our face. Magic is absolute. Yeah, okay, listen. All right, for people in the chat trying to defend magic and doing magic, I'm not saying that it's not real. I'm saying that it is of the devil. It's a doctrine of the devil, and it's not something that you want to be following. Okay? Do we want to put our faith in the creation or the creator? Does that make any type of sense, guys? I don't know why anybody would put more fear in Satan over God himself. God created Satan. God even created hell. And he created, a lot of people don't know this, he literally created hell for the devil and his fallen angels. He didn't even create hell for human beings. But if you don't want to follow God willingly, he loves us so much, he loves you enough to let you go your own wicked way. So if you don't follow him and you're walking around hating people and complaining all the time, you're not grateful for the life that you're living, and you're just spewing negativity all day long. Yeah, I mean, I really, it's bad for your spiritual life. It's bad for your physical life. Over time, it's going to just start eating away at you from the inside out, and it'll literally make you feel rotten after a certain period of time. And a lot of people have been so negative for so many years straight. I almost feel like they don't know how to turn away from it. Like they've been doing it so long. I just see this on such a massive scale, man. Narcissism is on the rise. And I say narcissism because it's like broadly known, like the term for it. So people pick up when I'm putting down when I start talking about stuff like that. But they're demonically possessed, man. They're demonically possessed. So real quick, kind of spent too much time. Godspeed. I think you're the one that said that. But and Jesus was a title stolen from this guy. Is this the same guy that was talking about the sun god like 2 days ago? Yeah, all of that stuff is doctrines of Satan. Okay, guys. And we're not here to preach anything that Satan believes in. So I would encourage you guys to follow the truth, okay? Because just because magic actually does exist, and, you know, I try to talk about this as much as possible because I've dealt with it. People have been doing magic on me. It hasn't done a single thing. So that just shows you the power of Jesus Christ, that if you follow him, he's not even allowing stuff like that to prosper, bro. So what's realer, magic or God? What's realer, guys? Let's balance the scales here, because I'm telling you right now, if you follow Jesus Christ, witchcraft ain't doing squat to you. That's how powerful that stuff is, okay, guys? Not to be a smart aleck or anything, but I'm just being real, bro. I get passionate. Yeah. Nah, it's written before. Yeah, a bunch of negativity, guys. So we can also give you guys examples of how to transmute today. Let's cook, okay? So let's get into this, guys. Ye are the salt of the earth. But if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. Did Jesus Christ get bitter when he realized that Judas was going to betray him? His heart was broken, but he didn't start acting bitter. He didn't stop helping people. He didn't stop forgiving people. He forgiven him before he even betrayed him, guys. This is just, you know, a great example of how magnificent of a person Jesus Christ truly was, savages, okay? Ye are the light of the world. A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do men light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick, and it giveth light unto all that are in the house. Basically, you're called to be the light in darkness. That's why I pray about this all the time, and I finally realize why. I am always called to go to places that are like really, really dark, man, because you're the light. You're supposed to make those environments better, guys. That's actually what we're called to do as Christians, okay? Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men to do so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So when you kind of go through your walk and you start passing your spiritual test and you learn all this stuff for yourself, go teach other people, man. Not by force feeding it to them, but by being an example of what light looks like. Just continue to be yourself. You know, if you guys are being gang stalked, 9 times out of 10, you're already walking in that divine light. And the point is they're trying to pull you guys out of it by irritating you, by attacking you, by taking stuff away from you and stealing from you and just being ruthless against you. Don't let them take your light, okay? You have it within you for a reason. You're an agent of the kingdom of heaven. Be an example. Show those people what you're really made of. You're set apart for a reason, so be different from those people. I cannot urge and stress that enough to any targeted individuals, guys. Be different. Be set apart because God has already set you guys apart for that reason specifically. No matter what they do to you, be yourself. Love them to their face. Show them what it looks like to follow Jesus Christ, okay? And then hopefully, over an extended period of time, they're hoping to psychologically break you guys down, but I've experienced this myself. After a long enough period of time and they see that nothing they do is working or actually bothering you guys, they're going to start questioning what they're doing themselves. It's going to take time. You guys need to remain patient, okay? I know it's a very difficult thing to go through, but if you're truly trying to get close to God, you're going to stop caring about all the stuff they're doing anyway, guys, okay? I promise you guys, man. All right. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Listen to that. I'm going to repeat that, bro. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees. Basically, you shall exceed the righteousness of the people in the church. Okay. For as perfect as those people think they are, you're actually called to be truly righteous, not somebody who tries to portray themselves to be righteous, but they're not acting righteous. They're not moving righteous. They're hateful. They're judgmental. They're pointing their finger at everybody under the sun because they feel like they're not good enough to go to church. They're not good enough to go to heaven. That is a modern day Pharisee, boys. And that the church in Jesus's time was actually his biggest enemy. Dude, a lot of people have never heard anyone say that. The church was Jesus Christ's biggest enemy, bro, for a lot of different reasons. We're going to get into that more as we go through the New Testament, okay? And this is going to be kind of over the next few weeks, but a lot of people do not understand that because even in his time, we see it in our generation, the people of the church feel like their crap don't stink, bro. And a lot of those people probably feel that way because they feel like, I don't know, man. I've experienced it a little bit for myself, and that's why I had such a freeing day spiritually yesterday, but it's probably because they're not willingly trying to be like sinless. They feel like they're forcing themselves to be sinless because they feel like God doesn't love them if they don't. That's a trick of the enemy. And when you have an entire church that is run by people that feel that way, it's a dangerous place to be, guys. That's why I don't go to church almost ever. Because I'm judged immediately, bro. I wore a white t-shirt to church like a month and a half ago. The preacher, who, by the way, was a narcissist, and he was talking about himself for almost 2 hours straight, gave Jesus 10 minutes of play. And when he gave that 10 minutes of play, he was like making stuff up. He wasn't even reading out of the book, okay? Literally tried to like argue with me in front of a group of people. and tell me to derobe because I was wearing a white t-shirt, bro. Like this is how these people act, dude. They want to be in competition with each other. They want to feel like they're better. And when they see, just like Joseph, okay, in the book of Genesis, just like Joseph, who his own brothers tried to sell him into slavery because they seen the favor that God had on his life, other Christians are going to see you guys, chosen ones, okay, especially you guys. Other Christians are going to see the light and the favor upon your life. They're going to be jealous of it. I don't know why. That's for them to figure out. That's their battle between them and God, okay? It's not our place to really care about why they feel that way, but we have to acknowledge that they are going to feel that way. They do feel that way. And this is one of the biggest reasons why you guys are gang stalked, because people are jealous of the light. They see it sometimes even before you guys do, okay? Because a lot of the chosen ones are humble. They're very humble. They already realize they're not better than nobody else. But, you know, to everybody else that's staring at you all day and stalking you and watching you on a daily basis, they see that light, bro, and they don't have it, and they want it without putting in the work to get it. I'm telling you guys right now, man, every single person that has attacked me feels this type of way, bro. It is what it is. I pray every single day that they change their ways and God touches their hearts and changes them, because listen, man, if you're trying to be the best person you can possibly be, you don't even have time to focus on other people in that type of negative way. You don't even have the time to do it, guys. And, you know, to be sitting there 24 hours a day, stalking somebody's social media, trying to hack into their email and like dropping negativity on all their stuff and watching them and sending people to drive past your house and doing witchcraft and voodoo and stuff, like, you couldn't even pay me to do stuff like that, because I'm too focused on what I'm trying to do, man, and following Jesus Christ and trying to go after my dreams. If they were doing those types of things, they wouldn't have the time, bro. They wouldn't even have the time. But irregardless, that's neither here nor there. One of my homegirls is hitting me up right now. She's actually texting me about Jesus Christ right now, guys. I love it. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom of heaven. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of God's judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. I mean, this stuff speaks for itself, guys. We don't have to interpret the Bible. It interprets itself, okay? It says, but I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. That really hits home for me, because one of my brothers, I got two brothers, guys, one by blood and one by marriage. One of my brothers literally has such a huge problem with me for no reason. It's not even funny. And I try to be so nice to my baby brother, bro. I try to like give him advice. I try to be an example and be a big brother to him and everything. And he just like this competition, this competitive thing, that's really where it stems from, guys. And we just don't have a great relationship because of negative emotions and him feeling negative towards me for absolutely no reason. And it's disgusting. And I pray every day that we can mend that relationship, but only God can touch people's hearts. We can just be the example. Okay, guys, a really big point across the live stream this morning. Be what light looks like. Be the salt of the earth. Okay. Don't try to be perfect religiously. Be unconditionally loving, forgiving, show grace, be nice to every single person you meet. Don't judge nobody. That is a big one. Don't judge nobody, man. You don't know what people go through. None of us do. For somebody to end up in the predicament that they end up in. This is something I've had to learn the hard way in my past as well. Judging other people, man. And coming from a heroin user, an ex-heroin addict, bro, I don't have the capacity to be sitting and judging anybody, because I've went through it, bro. I've been through some really dark periods of time. And because of God's grace, I'm sitting here today, healthy, feeling good, smiling, and able to spread positivity. So we're not in a position to be judging other people, guys. I mean, everybody's got skeletons in their closet. We've all sinned. We're all sinners. So we're not better than each other, okay? And a lot of people fall into the trap of feeling like if they get clean or they get sober or they start becoming successful, that they're better than the next person. They start literally forgetting where they came from. That it could never be me, bro. Absolutely not, because I just wouldn't feel right about myself, okay? And Jesus Christ doesn't like that either. All right, guys. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Basically judging other people. I literally just said that, guys. Whosoever shall be in danger of the council, but whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. And there's actually a description of what Jesus is talking about when he says hellfire. At the bottom here, it says Jesus used this word to describe the fire of hell. This phrase, hellfire, occurs only 3 times in the New Testament. The term fire occurs 83 times, and most of them refer to the fire of hell. Jesus is emphasizing the torment and terrible conditions of hell itself. Okay, for anybody thinking that hell isn't real or that it's not that bad to go to hell for eternity, it's eternal torture and torment. All day, 24 hours a day. The time isn't even going to be a thing in hell, and you're literally just tortured the entire time you're there, which is eternity. You're never getting out. Actually, I heard a preacher tell me something one time that sent chills up my spine, guys, saying stuff like God will actually raise them from hell to be judged and show them what heaven looks like, and then send them right back down to hell. Like almost like show them what they're missing out on. Whoa, bro, not me. Can't do it. Can't do it. Won't do it, guys. Okay. That's why I feel it's so important, because we're living in Revelation right now. All of our souls are at stake, savages. All of us. And real quick, we might as well catch up on some of these comments. I really wish YouTube would kind of like naturally refresh these, because it was sitting up at like comments from 20 minutes ago. Class just started. Yeah, I'm learning it's better to shine the light first to the point where people ask you how you got that way. Then you share Jesus. Yes. Listen, for a targeted individual, when you pass your test and you finally get to the end of your gang stalking and you start seeing all the negative energy they've thrown at you, start like, projecting back upon themselves to the point where they're going to think you're doing witchcraft. I'm telling you guys, it's crazy. Okay. When people ask you how you made it through all that with a smile, tell them God did it. Please tell them God gave you the strength. He has convicted me several times that when I got to this point, I have to tell you guys that. And I want to anyway, because it's the absolute truth. You can't be tortured and tormented for a year and a half, 2, 3 years for some people, even more than that straight. Just every single day, you guys are being attacked ruthlessly in the spirit, physically being attacked. They tried to even run up on me several times, guys. I can count on both hands how many times these people have like paid other people to try to run up on me and take my life. I mean, that's very traumatic stuff, right? So on the outside, I can only imagine what it looks like to see somebody go through something like that and still carry a smile naturally, genuinely, right? It's because of God and the strength that God gives us when we lean on him. When you put your faith in God, he will give you the strength you need to do anything. Okay. And I absolutely mean that. I'm to the point, guys, I don't even think about the gang stalkers all that much. That's why sometimes I might, drop comments for all you targeted that, I don't like talking about my gang stalking all the time anymore, because the more I talk about my situation, it's almost like I'm still living in it, when really like that part of my life is slowly starting to kind of be a thing of the past. And the best thing you can do is just try your best to continue to live your life. They're trying to control you guys. They're all narcissists. They're operating out of, vibration of manipulation and control. They want to control you in your life. Don't let them. You're walking in the authority of Jesus Christ. So how can a man control anything you do? They absolutely can't, but they want to manipulate you into feeling like they can. That's the whole thing, the whole game. They want to control people, okay? I'm going to be talking more about that later on tonight. I'm so excited for that stream tonight, guys, okay? But let's get back into the verses real quick. Hold on. I did promise I'd look at comments. Oh, my goodness, brother. Oh, Juan, that is absolutely negative, bro, but you're still welcome here on the stream, okay? I'm giving my testimony. I feel like I've been through enough at this point, guys. Am I right? Yeah, if you tell them up front, they will F with you a lot more if you're targeted and try to say, see, she's not a Christian. Yeah, they're trying. That's another thing. They want to prove to themselves, because they want to be right so bad, that you're not walking with God. So when they attack you guys and like throw witchcraft your way and stuff, and they see targeted individuals get upset about it and they get angry about it and start fighting and arguing with the with the gang stalkers, that's the reaction they want. Because in their mind, oh, well, we're getting this person to argue with us, so there's no way they're walking with Jesus Christ. Then they start getting like a dopamine hit because they feel like they're right. that they're just trying to prove that they're better than God. At the end of the day, they want to prove so bad that Satan is better than God. They're absolutely deluded, okay? There is a good way to be delusional, to be able to attract stuff into your life, positive stuff. There's also a very dangerous way to be delusional, and people that practice satanic worship fall underneath that category, guys. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being 100% honest. When you start making yourself feel like you're better than God, whoo, buddy, that is a dangerous spot to be in mentally, okay? I'm just being 100% honest. And when judgment day comes, it is what it is. We're all going to be in unanimous agreement about who God is, man. And then, as they say, 10 seconds too late. And I don't want to see that happen to nobody, bro. Because we all make mistakes. A lot of people, they're just ignorant. They've never felt God's grace. So a lot of them just don't know, bro. And it's the saddest thing I've ever seen, okay? Because the devil doesn't care about none of you guys. The devil doesn't care about nobody. He goes after God's own heart. We are the children of God. We are his creation, the apple of God's eye. He knows he can't do anything to God. He was smited from heaven to earth, okay? He is destined to go down to the pits of hell for 1,000 years. And he hates that. He hates that he can never be redeemed. He hates that we can go to heaven and he cannot. That's why he attacks us so aggressively, guys, because God loves us. We're the apple of his eye. So he goes after God's own heart, okay? And he manipulates people that practice satanic worship, that he's going to take care of them, that he's going to, put them on a pedestal of some sort. I'll give you power while you're here on earth. But behind the scenes, he's doing this and like twisting his devilish mustache and being like, yeah, but that butt is mine for eternity. Ha, 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 ha. And those people don't even realize it, bro. Or they just don't believe that hell is actually a place that everybody is, there's a chance that you can go if you don't walk with Jesus Christ here on earth. The way that we live on earth determines our eternity. A lot of those people don't believe that. But how can you not believe that if you're practicing satanic worship and you know that the devil is real, right? So for every force, according to Newton's third law, right, every force has an opposite and opposing force. So if you know that the devil is real and you're practicing witchcraft and voodoo and occultism, how do you not know that God is real? Listen, that's for God to figure out and sort out. But just saying that out loud, that, like, even the way that sounds, it's dumbfounding to me, guys. It's dumbfounding to me. As we got a lot of people in the chat early this morning talking about magic is real and this and that. So if you're telling yourself that magic is real, how do you not understand that God is real, right? I can't fathom it. A lot of people practice witchcraft because they want to make themselves feel powerful. And they don't understand that if you follow God willingly, he gives you spiritual gifts and abilities that people they can't comprehend how the chosen ones can do certain things. It's because God gives you spiritual gifts and abilities. Why would you practice witchcraft, guys? There's no good reason to practice witchcraft whatsoever. Follow God. He'll give you stuff like spiritual discernment. You're going to get the conviction of the Holy Spirit. Dude, there is some stuff that I've always been gifted and blessed with the ability to do that a lot of people try to say I do witchcraft because they don't understand certain things. We all have different spiritual gifts and abilities, and it even says that in the Bible, guys. Very exciting news. So if you follow him, if you want to get like gifts and abilities, man, just do it the right way. I wouldn't be sitting there like putting people's pictures in vases and dropping it in the bottom of a lake or a river, or like sitting around a pentagram with candles. And that stuff is weird, bro. It's silly, it's weird, and it has no play here. Okay, absolutely not. And it has no effect on any of you guys who truly walk with Jesus Christ. And it's all about that heart posture, savages, okay? Jesus has more power than all the others put together. Timothy, God bless you, brother. Absolute positivity. I love to see that. And that's the truth, man. Jesus Christ is the way, the life, and the truth. And it says that the truth shall set you free. And the truth definitely set me free yesterday, guys, man. I mean, I feel so light this morning. I feel like a brick has been literally lifted off of my shoulder blades, bro, because I was dealing with spiritual warfare for a really long period of time. And I was kind of feeding into the seeds of doubt that the enemy likes to put in our heads, especially the closer you get to Jesus, and making you feel like, oh, if you make a mistake, Jesus ain't going to love you no more, which is absolutely untrue. He died on the cross. Your sins are already forgiven. A lot of people don't understand that. And I apparently was looking at it in the wrong way myself because I haven't been being authentic. I haven't been being 100% authentic. And then I'm sitting here wondering why, how come I'm not I mean, it seems like I've still been doing a lot, but I'm like, how come I haven't been quite as motivated lately to study like I used to? Something I ain't even talked to you guys about. Well, it's because I've been forcing myself to behave a certain way that is out of alignment with my own authenticity because of the doubt and the manipulation and the witchcraft and the spiritual warfare of making me feel like, oh, if I don't act a certain way or I don't do a certain thing, that God isn't going to love me. Bro, that is a trick of the enemy, guys. It's a trick of the enemy. Never feed into that. Trust me, if you're gang stalked, you're already walking in alignment with Jesus Christ anyway. They're trying to pull you guys out of it. Okay. So get closer to God. Pray to God even more than you did when you started getting gang stalked. These are some of the best things you guys could possibly do. And I'm going to talk to you guys a lot more about this later. I'll just put it out there right now. Average Savage roasted a joint yesterday, guys. I know, I just dropped a bomb. And it felt absolutely amazing because for once I felt like I could be my authentic self without feeling like God isn't going to love me anymore. Okay. This is what the devil has been trying to do to me for the last couple of months, guys. The spiritual warfare has just been absolutely through the roof. It's been ridiculous. And I want to stress this. All right. Real quick before we even do this live later. I didn't start feeling better because of a joint. I started feeling better because of the shift in my mindset and my perspective of realizing that you're not going to heaven based upon your works. You're going to heaven based upon your heart posture. And anything that gets you further away from feeling that unconditional love that just like flows freely from inside out. Okay. And I already had that for several years. I started to lose it a little bit the more obsessive I got about studying every single day, all day long, feeling like if I don't do this, this, and this. Listen, the Sermon on the Mount it clearly states the things that are important to make it into heaven. This is why we're going over it today. And smoking a cigar, hitting a joint, stuff like that is not what's going to condemn you to hell. The stuff that you say, okay, what's sitting in your heart, those are the things that are going to condemn people to hell. Absolutely. And by trying to force yourself to be perfect, at least in my experience, it started to get me away from that unconditional love a little bit more every day. And I let go of it yesterday. I completely released it to God. I gave the whole entire thing to God. I talked to him literally all afternoon. I took a pretty good nap, which told me that my soul on a spiritual level, I needed some rest. And I felt so much better. Then I woke up from my nap and I actually had like sincere motivation to study. So I sat down and I got the lesson cooked up for today. I really wanted to do it. So this is something I've been dealing with for a long time, guys. And when I do my live later, I am super excited to let you guys know about some plans I've been cooking up that I haven't told anybody yet. Nobody, just God. So I'm super excited for that, Savages. Okay. Yeah, tobacco is absolutely garbage, bro. And I pray every single day to completely get off of it. I think I'm actually going to go back to smoking a little bit of ganja at nighttime, not every single day, but ever since I quit doing that, I've been smoking a pack plus of cigars every day. I can't do that, bro. It's making me feel like death on the inside. I know they're not good for me. And yeah, there's just a trick of the enemy, guys. Manipulation and spiritual warfare and stuff like this. It just is what it is. Catch the live stream later if you guys want to hear more about that profound experience I had yesterday. Okay, guys. James, thank you so much for that gift, brother. You're an absolute blessing, bro. How long before I already have a Cash App plugged, brother, because this is my full-time job now. I know a lot of gang stalkers hate to hear me say that, but since they've tried to control my money and try to, commit identity fraud with my social security number and keep me from getting a regular job, guys, I ain't got nothing against working a 9 to 5. If anything, I truly wish I had one because my money has been so screwed up. But yeah, he opened the door for me on New Year's Eve to be able to actually make a little bit of money here on my channel. So eat it with your negativity, brother. Okay. Moving on. Class just started. See, it's getting to the point where I literally don't even have to transmute the negativity anymore because I have such kind-hearted people in the chat. Like Class just started here, like Jacqueline Lane and a couple other ones, Spencer. They do it for me at this point, so I don't even really have to worry about it. And I'm proud of you guys, man. You guys are doing absolutely fantastic, okay? Let's catch up with a couple more of these real quick. Nothing gets you into heaven like being... What's a grifter? I don't even know what that is. You mean a gifter? Or did you actually mean to say that? What's this channel about? This channel is about a lot of different things, guys, but the main thing I'm trying to get across here is that we need to all come together and start loving one another a whole heck of a lot more than we are, man. We're living in a generation of narcissism. So through all my creative passions and all the stuff that I enjoy doing, like making music, being a gaming commentator, doing my daily bread videos and my daily devotionals, and soon, I'm not dropping it here, but something that people have been waiting on for a long time is making a return in a way, but not the same way that I used to do it. I'm dropping a huge bomb tonight for all of my subscribers, okay? Super exciting stuff. If you don't know, the grandparents may open another book besides the Bible. I'm all for reading. I don't know. Homie retracted the comment. I don't know what he's saying. Ozzy says he loves Fent. Please stop loving Fent, bro. If you got to get on Suboxone, do what you got to do. Start trying to get off of that stuff, lest it take your life, because it almost took mine. I used to love Fent too, but I really just didn't love myself. So I was putting love into anything that numbed me out, so that I didn't feel the emotional misery that was overtaking the inside of my body. So I don't think you really love fentanyl. You're probably just joking anyways, bro. Faith without works is dead, meaning practice what you preach. Love all as you spread the word of love around. Yes, absolutely, guys. Dude, I botch your name up every time. Badamin Soul, you're positive every single time you come on stream. Everything you say is always positive. God bless you, brother, and your family. I hope you have the best possible day you possibly can, okay? You're awesome. What's that, a curse? Yeah. Class just started. I was kind of thinking the same exact thing. So, but that just goes to show you guys, none of that stuff has an effect on a true follower of Jesus Christ. Okay, savages. So I want to be an example of that, man. They've done so many things to me. Dude, it hasn't had, honestly, any type of physical effect on me whatsoever. It doesn't work. Like, when you truly are sitting in your Christ consciousness frequency and you're just unconditionally loving to everybody naturally, dude, Jesus Christ isn't playing that stuff, boys. And he sees everything. He's watching. He's sitting back like this. Okay, how many times are they going to do it? I'm going to give them a chance. Let's give them like 10 chances to turn from their wickedness. Are they going to keep doing it? Oh, man, really? You did it again? Boom. And that's what he does, bro. I'm not even lying to you guys. And listen, God is a patient entity, man. He is super forgiving. He loves forgiving sinners. He really does. But at a certain point, if you go far enough to upset the Father, look out, bro. That's all I'm saying. Look out. I would rather have the devil mad at me, and the devil's mad at me every single day for trying to sit up here and speak truth, okay? He's mad at me every day. They still do witchcraft and stuff like that on me, guys. I've been dealing with this for so long. I know when somebody's trying to do witchcraft on me, but man, it's not that hard at this point, man. Dude, the Lord is so good. He has trained me up so well spiritually that stuff literally, dude, it's like a joke. I laugh at it now. I'm like, are you guys kidding me, bro? You could just crack your Bible at this point. It'd be easier than what you're doing, you know? Obsessively trying to attack somebody who doesn't even think twice about them. It's just craziness, bro. So let's get back into this, guys. Verse 21, ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. Gang stalkers, listen to that, please. I pray, I beg you. But I say unto you, that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raka, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and thou rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Listen, targeted individuals, verse 25 is really, really important for all of you guys. Class just started. Anyone else in the chat that's a TI, please listen to this. Okay? Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. They literally tried to arrest, no, they didn't try. They did arrest me for something I didn't even do. They tried to take me to jail on a false warrant. I haven't even really told you guys about a lot of the stuff that's happened to me in my gang stalking situation. Absolutely crazy. There was a day that somebody paid some youngsters in a really bad part of town to run up on me at a store and try to intimidate me. I think they were waiting on me to go outside so they could try to pew, 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 do whatever. It wouldn't have worked anyway. Okay, called the police to try and report it, because when you're being gang stalked, the best thing you can do is report as much stuff as possible so they can get a record of it over an extended period of time, because it gets harder for them to kind of say you're lying when, you know, you're making reports all the time and stuff is actually happening. So they ended up sending some evil looking police officers, man. And listen, if you guys are street smart whatsoever, I'm street smart because of all the years I spent on heroin and dope. I had to get street smart because you got to buy it from, you know, people in bad areas and stuff like that. All right, police officers that patrol the hood, we'll just say it how it is, are usually paid off police officers, man. They're corrupt. They're on dope themselves. A lot of the cops that, when I was living over in that area where all this stuff actually started happening, which was the worst hood in Canton. If you guys, you know anything about Canton, you can probably already guess which place I'm talking about, okay? Half the police officers that, you know, kind of came out to the calls, literally, the first one looked like he was on methamphetamine. His eyeballs were like bulging out of his freaking face, bro. And I know a demon when I see a demon, bro. Like, I have a good level of spiritual discernment. I can smell demons. Like, it smells like sulfur and chemicals and stuff when they come around me. And this dude was definitely a freaking demon, bro. His eyeballs looked like they were bulging out of his face. He was stuttering. He was like lying to me right in front of me. I have a really good way to know when people are lying. It's all in your facial expression, the tone of your voice, the shiftiness in somebody's body language. He was doing all the red flags, bro. Definitely a huge liar. I've took his name down several times, and I've even reported this guy, okay? And then his partner got so uncomfortable with the stuff I was telling him that he literally left and just made me talk to this guy. I almost just said his name. You got to watch it, Savage. Don't ever try to condemn or humiliate nobody, okay? That's for the Lord to worry about. But that was the first experience I had. The day that these youngsters were paid in whatever, weed, money, or a gift card to try to run up on me. Listen, I actually think they were manipulated by some booty juice from one of these Jezebellas, okay? I think they were paid with booty, but that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so these kids tried to run up on me in a store. It was on camera. Other people witnessed it, and they tried to take me to jail. They literally, and when this cop walked into the store, guys, I can't even replicate it, but I will try to. This goofball walked in the store like this. He was like putting on gloves, and he was like, bro, he's like smiling at me like the Joker, bro. Like, it was obvious that he was demonically possessed from the get-go. Then my Jezebelic girlfriend was like trying to put on this show, like this crying fit, and like act like she cared that they were taking me to jail, even though she was in on it as well. And they literally tried to like put a false warrant on me and lie and say I did something I didn't even do. And guess what? I smiled the entire trip to jail. I didn't get upset one single time. This is a great example of how to transmute this negativity and the effect it has on demons, okay? So I smiled in their face. I even told them, I was like, thank God you guys are taking me to jail right now. This is going to be the best sleep I've had in months. And I just kept like leaning into it, guys. And when they got me to jail, and I told them, I was like, you know, I don't even know why you guys have a warrant on me. It seems kind of illegal. And, you know, I study law more than people think. I just don't tell people that. And I started like dropping knowledge on some of these police officers, and they literally looked at each other, started whispering behind my back. They walked away from me and was whispering and stuff. That type of body language is also a red flag. And they ended up letting me go the same night because it was illegal, and I knew it was illegal. But this is something that people need to understand. Don't try to fight the law, okay? Because the law will win most of the times if you're not educated on the law. They try to use people's ignorance against them in court. It's a business. They want to make money off you guys. They don't really care about justice. Let's just be 100% real. And in the city of Canton, listen, there's some good police officers that I've met. There's some people that actually care about justice still, but it's few and far in between. Most of those people are wicked. Wicked with a capital W, okay? And I've had to deal with this firsthand. I've went to court 3 times, about to be a 4th. Over all this gang stalking garbage, and they've been involved in it every single time. Actually, every single time I go to court, it gets a little bit worse, okay, guys? But don't let it bother you. Do not let it get to you. Just understand that you have done nothing wrong. Give it to God and watch how he will manipulate circumstances right in front of your face. You ain't, listen, guys, don't worry about that. Don't put your fear into the enemy, because the second you put your fear into the enemy, you're basically wavering in your faith against God, okay? You don't want to do that. If you can have 100 witches coming after you at the same time and you smile about it, you're grateful for the test, that's showing God that you have a ridiculous amount of faith, okay? And, faith moves mountains. As Jesus literally says, if you have no doubt in your heart, you could tell a mountain to jump up and cast itself into the sea. So the more you have faith in the power of God and what he can do for you in your life, the more he can actually do for you in your life, okay? When my stalking started and my faith needed a little bit of work, okay? I mean, I've really had a lot of faith this entire time. I knew that they weren't going to get away with anything, okay? But at the start, I actually had to deal with some pretty dark stuff, man. I was being chased in the woods on several nights. I had to sleep out in the cold and the rain. And it was because I didn't realize that God was protecting me the entire time at the beginning. If I would have realized what I realize now, I wouldn't have even had to probably sleep in the woods, guys. Honestly, I'm just being 100% honest because I've been protected the whole time. But because I was feeding into their attacks and all the stuff that they were doing, it had me in a vibration of fear. This is why I tell you guys all the time, you don't want to have fear in the enemy. You want to have fear in God. The fear of God is the beginning of all wisdom. And God's going to take care of you guys, okay? So I was making things harder on myself. I probably didn't even have to sleep in the woods, bro. Okay? But I was putting too much fear into the enemy. Great example of that. Also, the videos I've taken when I had to take a family member's vehicle and I got chased for 3.5 hours. I didn't even have to take that vehicle. I could have stayed home the entire time. They were just trying to scare me. That's really what it is, guys. They want to scare you, bro. They want to scare you. And then if it gets to a certain point that they actually try to physically attack you, don't waver in your faith, and God is going to smack the crap out of them. I mean, I've got examples of that on the channel. There's stuff I would like to show you guys. I just don't feel like it's the right thing to do anymore, to be totally honest. I mean, so much time has passed. I don't want to think about them anymore. I'm trying to move on with my life and be positive and, get back to average savage's life. I don't care about what those people are doing, man. And the more I think about it and the more I want to show proof of it to everybody and everything, it's just keeping me stuck in the war. So I'm trying to get out of the war. And as it literally says here, verse 9, blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. I'm advocating for peace. I want peace to come to the situation. And the more you guys try to argue with your gang stalkers, you're just keeping that fight going. You're keeping that fight continuing. Okay, guys? Let's see here. Never be in these 4 categories: fear, pride, anger, or rebellion. Class just started. How long have you been going through your gang stalking? May I ask? I'm kind of curious because you really seem like you know your stuff. I'm just being 100% honest. I watched some of the videos that you put on your channel, and you were literally transmuting a gang stalker in your comment section. So you seem like you're on the right track. You definitely do. And for the question that you asked last night when you dropped a comment on my video, to answer that question, yeah, it definitely sounds like you're being gang stalked, especially when you've got drones following you around and stuff like that. And from what I've seen in your videos and stuff, yeah, that's what's known as gang stalking. Class just started, okay? But don't worry about it. Don't put no fear into the enemy, okay? You seem like you already know that. I'm not allowed at the Fayette County, Georgia courthouse anymore. They have me listed as a threat. I have to do cyber hearings. Yeah, for the targeted individuals, most of us are put on like terrorist watch lists and stuff because on paper that gives all those people and all those dirty officials and corrupt officials like a reason on paper to be able to stalk you, but it's all illegal. I'm definitely not a terrorist. I stay to myself. I don't even hang out with anybody. I focus on my work and stuff. And most of us that deal with stuff like this stay to themselves. Okay. So to be put on a terrorist watch list is absolutely crazy. And I want you guys to understand something, man. God sees all that stuff. So don't sit in a vibration of feeling like they're going to get away with what they've done. They're going to get away. If I don't do something about this, they're going to get away with it. No. They're not going to get away with it. They haven't got away with it. Trust me, God sees everything. And the more you give it all to him, the quicker they're going to not get away with it. Does that make any type of sense? The more you fight with them, the more you're actually prolonging it yourself. Just ignore it as much as possible. Live your life. Don't stay cooped up in the house all day, feeling scared. I bring this up quite often, but the day that I was recording that video, part 1 of my story, okay, and they were literally trying to stop me from recording that video. They even sent a guy to try to run me over with his truck. That just goes to show you guys, yeah, I love taking walks. And for a little bit there around Thanksgiving, I was staying cooped up in the house all the time because of my gang stalking. dude, don't let them control you guys. Absolutely not. You're the one with the authority through Jesus Christ. You're walking in authority of Christ. They don't have that, clearly. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. So you can do whatever you please as long as it's in alignment with the Father's will on your life. Okay, don't be committing sin yourself or anything. But most of the chosen ones already ain't doing stuff like that to begin with. So yeah, I took a walk to the river, same river that they tried to hunt me at in the middle of the night. And I was recording a video talking about how my story started. And they tried to run me over with a truck, bro. Literally. And we all know how that, if you're new, maybe you don't know, but the dude flipped his car and ended up getting rushed to the hospital. So yeah, God doesn't play stuff like that, guys. And that's just one example, bro. But when that happened, that's really when a lot of my stalking started coming to a halt. It actually officially ended spiritually. I could just feel it after Christmas. Okay. Christmas Day was like my last test when, like, bro, literally my very own family was trying to put me to sleep and abduct me. So without saying anybody's names, I'm not here to do stuff like that. That was the last big test I had to go through. And ever since then, when I seen that God granted me the ability to start making a little bit of money on YouTube, and I started taking this new direction on the channel with really talking about the gospel and trying to teach you guys through my testimony and stuff like that, a lot of stuff has started to kind of go more in my favor since then. And every day gets a little bit better. And all those people are starting to have serious complications in their life. So that is a really big green flag to me that the war is over, and I don't need to be sitting here going to war every single day anymore, man. It's retracting from my peace. It's retracting from my ability to kind of show other people unconditional love because I was holding on to the war just way too much and way too long. I don't have to do that anymore, guys. And trust me, if I am my authentic self, I'm going to be able to show up for you guys a whole lot better, man. I'm actually going to be in a good mood. Some of the streams I've been doing, honestly, man, that's not really me, to be fair. I don't like being in a standoffish type of vibration. I really don't. But because so many people have been trying to send negativity my way, it's just something you got to do sometimes, guys. You got to be confident within yourself to deal with that much negativity. But I'm giving it to God, and I'm getting back to who I actually am, guys. And it feels so good. It's not even funny. I feel amazing right now, bro. I really do. Genuine smiles, okay? That's why. Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. I hope they gave you cash at least and not a gift card. Spend it wisely, brother, and God bless you, okay? But targeted individuals already know this, man. The second you try to start yapping and telling the truth about your story and your testimony, they don't like that. They want to keep this stuff as hidden as they possibly can. Disregard the background noise, guys. We got some fam coming in the crib, but they want to disregard as much of what you're saying as they possibly can because they don't want people knowing this is a real thing. But it's not just me. There are several other targeted individuals who have been really shedding light on this. And that's why I'm trying to encourage you guys to not be scared about telling your story and telling your truth. Because a lot of targeted individuals start feeling like if they start speaking up about their story, that they're going to get attacked worse or that they're going to get murdered or anything. If they can murder you guys, you'd be dead already. They want you to kill yourself. That's exactly what they want you guys to do, okay? Trust me. If they could do anything to you, it'd be done by now. Especially the people who've been dealing with gang stalking for, man, years on end, literally. I think, just sit back and think about that for a second, man. If they want to murder you so bad, why are you not dead? You know what I'm saying? They want you guys so scared and so mentally and psychologically burnt out and drained that you just end up doing it yourself. Because they know that witchcraft and occultism doesn't work on a true chosen of God, on a real anointed of God. A lot of people throw that word around. I try not to say chosen very often because of that reason. And we're not supposed to be making graven images unto ourselves anyway of anything that's in heaven or hell. I think a lot of chosen ones need to kind of understand that. You're not supposed to just be broadcasting to everybody that you're anointed by God. They're supposed to kind of come to that conclusion themselves by observing you over time and realizing that you're different, that you're set apart. You don't act like everybody else. There is something about you that's peculiar, and people will come to that conclusion all on their own. You don't need to broadcast it. And for that reason alone, I am no longer doing that, okay? I think they can figure out who I am at this point in time. I don't really need to explain it to anybody. And honestly, it also says in the word that you should be so confident in the stuff that God has taught you that you don't have to broadcast it to everybody else. So I really do feel that way. That's why I'm starting to lean more into my creative direction. After today, we're going to start doing more of the stuff that lights the fire up within my soul, and we're going to be keeping Jesus Christ in the center of it, guys, because it makes me feel truly happy, and I don't have to explain that to anybody else, guys. And it feels really good to let go of that expectation, bro, to let go of that weight. I ain't even going to lie, man. What's double fiction? Is that something that somebody asked in the chat? But he wouldn't be able to hook anyone if these things weren't already happening to them. Oh yeah, this guy sounds like somebody who just really wants to believe that God isn't real. And a lot of people, listen, a lot of people take that route because following God is hard. He asks you of things that are difficult to do. So a lot of times for people, it's easier to believe in witchcraft and magic and all this other garbage, bro, than it is to crack your Bible and sit down and discipline yourself and humble yourself before God and say, I don't know everything. In fact, I'm a worm. I might know nothing. So let me read the wisdom of God, the word of God, so I might learn something about who I am and the universe we're living in and how it came to be and how God thinks and how God views us. And, you know, a lot of people just don't want to do that because it's something you got to be disciplined to do. It's not easy to sit down and crack the word of God most times, honestly, guys. And I'm telling you guys the truth here. That's why a lot of people choose to do it. Okay. God bless all you guys who are being negative this morning. I really hope by the end of the stream, you guys feel a little bit more positive, okay, guys? Because at the end of the day, spreading negativity, first off, it's a sign that you're feeling negative within yourself because somebody that's truly feeling positive and unconditionally loving would not go out of their way to try to spread negativity. And I pray for you guys. Whatever you guys are dealing with, I sincerely hope you get through it. In the name of Jesus Christ, okay? So let's pick back up here, guys. We're going to read a couple more chapters for the morning. Ooh, we're about to go over the Lord's Prayer too, guys. I love it. Okay. So ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you that whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment himself. And whosoever shall say to his brother, Raca, shall be in danger of the council. But whosoever shall say, thou fool, shall be in danger of hellfire. So let's not be judgmental of other people. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and there rememberest that thy brother hath aught against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way. First be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. For doing, yeah, but he's doing hours of streams for free and helping people get through something, and he doesn't have a lot of money. And it says in the Bible that the priest got paid it. Oh yeah, class just started. Listen, this is something I already expected going into this. With people trying to say that I'm trying to make money. Listen, most people couldn't even walk in the shoes that we have to walk in every day as a targeted individual. So the last thing that I'm going to do is try to explain it to those people. For the most part, they want to make money on their own as well. And I still struggle every day, guys. Honestly, I got like $10 to my name, and that's even the most amount of money I've had in several weeks, okay? Most people wouldn't be able to go through that. I realize that, and I try to just keep that between me and the Lord. Oop, all the puppies are trying to come up in here. They want to say what's up. But yeah, we just try to ignore that as much as possible, guys. I barely ever like advertise donations here and stuff on the channel. I just try to let people do it if God touches their heart to want to do it and stuff. But people like that, bro, no play here, okay? No play here. And I'm not above a 9 to 5. I'm still looking for one, by the way, guys. My hope is to be able to work a part-time job, do this at the same time, and show you guys that it's possible to rebuild your life after you were gang stalked. That's really my hope, okay? Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. That really happened to me, guys. I'm not lying to you. Without going too much into it, because I was arguing with my gang stalkers, like right in their face. I was getting so mad. I felt so disrespected by the stuff they were doing to me. I was literally fighting with them face to face on the daily because, like, I'm just that type of person, bro. When I see injustice happening, especially to other people, I just call it out. I'm one of those types of people, guys. It's hard for me to sit back when I'm witnessing evil play out right in front of my face. But because I was going way too hard and trying to argue with these people, That's exactly what happened. They tried to get me caught up on a charge. They tried to get me thrown in jail and prison, and I'm still dealing with the ramifications of that today. So, to save you guys all of the trouble of what I've had to go through, don't fight with them. Please give the whole thing to the Lord. Don't fight with them. At the end of the day, that's one of the three things they want you guys to do. They want you to get out of alignment and start like snapping and stuff so that they can put you in jail. They just want to get rid of you any way they possibly can so they can do that destiny swap ritual, okay, and try to take your destiny and take your life, which is so narcissistic, bro. I can't even saying that out loud. It sounds like disgusting behavior, guys. And I'm just being 100% honest, man. We should never be like that, dude. You should always put in the work in your own life to get anywhere you want to. Don't be jealous of somebody else. And honestly, dude, I've had people envious of me that have more than me. It makes absolutely no sense. But this is the same reason they threw Joseph in the pit and his own family and his own brothers tried to sell him into slavery, because the light that God has on your life and the favor that God has on your life is priceless, and they want it for themselves, guys. No amount of money. Listen, you don't get to choose to, as it says in the Bible, many are called, but few are chosen. It's not our decision. You're chosen before the foundation of the earth. Okay. That's God and Jesus Christ's decision to choose people for his purpose. And for anyone thinking that it's all dandelions and lilies and stuff, listen, bro, being a chosen is not an easy life. It really isn't, man. You gotta go through things that Jesus had to go through. You're persecuted every single day. You deal with massive amounts of negativity and hatred every single day. It's not something that is just super fun. Okay. So for anybody that feels like they want to do a destiny swap, I'm not going to say nobody's name, but somebody I personally know tried to do a destiny swap on me, and God literally let it play out for a little bit and let them try to walk the path that I've had to walk with my addiction and toxic relationships and all the lessons I've had to learn over the years. And they didn't get but a month and a half into it without like giving up. And I'm not ever going to say that person's name or whatever. It's somebody that, I've known for a very long time. It's not easy, bro. I didn't get here overnight. This took years. And I'm still learning stuff every single day, guys. I'm learning like harsh lessons every single day. Just know that if I miss a day or I'm not streaming on any given day, it's probably because I'm going through something super spiritual with God myself. Okay. He's still working on me every day, guys. And we're going to be worked on till the day we actually die. So this is not ever a destination. Start to learn how to love the journey. Okay. That really good piece of advice for anyone dealing with gang stalking. Learn to love the journey and just have faith that it is all going to work out in the end. Okay. Verily, I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out thence till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, thou shalt not commit adultery. Oh my goodness, this is really important to understand too. Verse 28, but I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her has committed adultery with her already in his heart. This is something most men struggle with like, you ever see a group of guys that are friends, like standing around in public and like a pretty woman will walk by and they'll start like pointing at her and, oh man, the things that I would do to her and stuff like that sounds disgusting, even repeating that stuff out loud. But as a man, listen, I've dealt with it in my past, dealing with lust and stuff. That was one of the lessons I had to learn. I tell you guys all the time that I had to stop having sex before marriage willingly. It was something I was doing way too often with somebody I was dating. Okay. And I've been doing that for years. I can happily say now I am able to say no to that because of the conviction of the Holy Spirit. He's tried to send Jezebel's my way and stuff like this, something that he used to do to me all the time in the past to kind of get me off of the path that God has for me in my life. I've never been able to say no to sex willingly. And as a man, I will put my hand up right now and admit that to each and every single one of you guys. Because of God, Jesus Christ, and his Holy Spirit, I now have the ability to say no. If a woman comes into my life and she isn't born again through Christ, doesn't at least have fear of the Lord inside of her body, and I'll be able to tell that stuff and see the fruit of the Holy Spirit, I can't. I just absolutely can't, because you're going to pull me away from what I'm supposed to do. And I can't have that anymore, man. I've already dealt with that for so many years, bro. And it was a really hard lesson for me to learn. And for any young men watching, super important. I'm going to repeat this one more time so you guys, and it interprets itself. I don't even have to explain this much, okay? Verily, I say unto you, that whosoever looks on a woman to lust after her has already committed adultery with her already in his heart. Okay, so we shouldn't be looking at women as sexual objects, guys. Women have so much more value than just something to have sex with. This is something that, like, I see it all the time, bro. You hear it in music all the time, especially rap music, with people like justifying feeling like women are sexual objects. This is another reason why toxic relationships are on the rise so much. Most people's relationships are on the foundation of sex and how much sex you're offering each other, and you're not even married. And if you're not getting enough sex, I'm not even going to be with you because I got to have sex all the time. That, bro, that's of the enemy. You shouldn't be looking. You should look at your wife as somebody to lead and guide, as a man of Christ, okay? And somebody to kind of help support you emotionally, to keep you the best man you can possibly be. And a good woman, a real wife is going to be doing those things naturally. And I was kind of dating women that wanted to be in competition with me, man. They wanted to, bro, no, I can't. My wife can't be looking at me in that way, bro. I want my wife to build me up, right, guys? I don't want my wife looking at me feeling like, oh, I got to be better than you, or you're getting close to the followers I have on social media. I can't. I swear to God, I was dating somebody like that, guys. It's absolutely disgusting, even for me to repeat that out of my mouth. But I was dealing with that type of stuff, and I should have left the second I started seeing those red flags, guys. If your wife or your husband is in competition with you, hell no, bro. Hell no. I'm just going to be 100% honest, man. You guys are supposed to be a team, a unit. How can you be a family unit if you're competing with each other? That doesn't even make sense, man. The man was meant to guide and lead the woman, and the woman was meant to nurture and emotionally support the man. That's a team working together. I wasn't in a relationship like that. I was in a relationship where we were working against each other, even though, bro, at one point in time, I worked so hard and I pushed my girl to work so hard to kind of get our stuff together for the kids and everything, and like save money, move out, get an apartment, and listen, she started getting an ego and conceited in her mind over a period of time, and literally started feeling like she didn't need me anymore. After everything that I had tried to do for that girl and everything, I've completely let go of it. I pray for her every single day. I still care about her. I don't hate her and stuff. At one point in time, I was mad at that girl, bro. I was really mad at that girl. But we're not supposed to hold bitterness within, and that's a lesson I had to learn the hard way. Okay, so if you guys are with somebody that is making you feel like you're in competition every day, and it's only based, like, the love is only based upon what you're offering for each other that day, that's not love at all. It's definitely not unconditional love. That is called conditional love. I only love you if you're doing this, this, and this. That's not what true love is. And that's why Jesus Christ is so important, guys, because he really shows us what unconditional love is, that you love people even with their flaws and everything. You love them anyway. You love them anyway. Isn't that how we would all want to be treated in the first place, guys? You know, I know for me, that's how I would want to be treated. So I try my best to not judge other people. I try my best to give that unconditional love and grace and forgiveness. And this has been a test. So if you're gang stalked, just know a big part of your test is seeing. Just think about the book of Job. Think about the book of Job. When your stalking starts getting super difficult, and what he had to go through, and that even in the end he did not waver away from his faith in God, and he lost his children. The devil killed his children. So if Job can go through that, and I think about Job a lot when it comes to my stalking, if he can lose his children and still have faith in God, we can be gang stalked and still have faith in God. This is a test. He wants to see if you're going to start turning away from him when things get tough. So just understand that, savages, okay? And my heart goes out to each and every single one of you. I'm here to help you guys, okay? I promise. Any of you that are really dealing with it and struggling, you can hit me up one-on-one. If my email isn't up, by the time I'm done with this stream, that email will be up. I promise you guys, okay? But anyway, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body shall be cast into hell. That really resonates with me, with that one toxic relationship that I talk about here and there. No matter how much I love that person and I care about them truly, and I still do to this day, that relationship was keeping me from being close with the Lord. because I was being manipulated so much on a daily basis that I was starting to get angry about it inside when I should have just walked away entirely and I wouldn't have been feeling angry. That's called reactive abuse. And a lot of men and women fall under like the trap of domestic violence and stuff because they stay with toxic people and stay in a toxic relationship for way too long, and they start growing in bitterness and anger. You don't ever want to do that, savages, okay? Take it from me. I've dealt with it for a very long period of time with several different people. Get away from those people and pray for them. That doesn't make you a bad person because you're walking away from them. That shows God that you care enough about yourself and your walk with Jesus Christ that you're not going to sit in the council of wickedness. Okay, because that's not going to do anything but bring you guys down. It's going to get you out of alignment with Jesus Christ, man. It's not something that anybody wants. Are priests not allowed to have sex? I don't know. I've actually never looked into that. Are priests not allowed to have sex? I think if you're married, you're allowed to have sex. I mean, that's God doesn't look down on having sex. He looks down on having premarital sex and having sex willy-nilly with a bunch of different people because it's something that is sacred in between a man and a woman in the covenant of marriage and union. Okay, sex is something that is supposed to be reserved for marriage for a very good reason, guys. It's not something that the Lord looks down upon. Sex is how we create human beings and we kind of populate the earth. So he created that for a reason for us to be able to do it. But if you're just having sex with a different partner every couple of weeks, you're kind of disrespecting the purpose of a union between a man and a woman. Does that make sense? You're like turning it into a it's almost like a drug addiction. You know, you're going after the union for the wrong reason. You're going after the union for like gratification and feeling good instead of, you know, guiding a woman, or the other way around, a woman, you know, being a good wife to her husband and putting in the hard work and being able to forgive each other's mistakes and really being a team and walking through this life together. And I can tell you guys, man, if you can achieve that with a partner, a man and a woman, and really be a team, oh man, you guys are unstoppable, bro. That's why God put so much emphasis on the union between a man and a woman. You guys are unstoppable. Like your downsides as a man kind of get made up for by your partner, your wife. Same for her. Her downsides kind of get made up for by her husband. And you guys are really working together every single day as a unit. You're unstoppable. Okay. I unfortunately haven't experienced that to the full. There have been moments in time where I got to experience periods of stuff like that, but it didn't last very long. And this is another thing. When you get married, the enemy hates that. Listen, the devil hates divine union, and he's going to try and split you guys up many different ways. You guys are going to go under spiritual warfare together. I went through this with an individual that unfortunately we both weren't fixated on God the way that we were supposed to be. Like I was trying to, you know, and I'm not perfect, guys, at all. I was making a lot of mistakes when this happened, but they didn't really want to fully commit to God, and I was trying to get to that point. So we were arguing about it way too often, and it just kept me from being close to the Lord. So we ended up splitting up. And it's all a divine test, guys. Some people are strong enough to pass the test, and some people ain't. It just is what it is. But the devil is going to attack your marriage. I want to tell you guys that. So when things get tough and you get married, stick it out together. Don't start fighting with each other. Stick together. It's a test for you guys to learn how to get stronger together. And when I was dealing with it and I was engaged and stuff, guys, I don't know. We just didn't see eye to eye on certain things like that, and it didn't end up working out. But now I have a lot more experience, and I'll be ready for that, you know, divine union when it comes with the right person. It just is what it is. Now I know how to treat a woman. I know how to lead and stuff like that. So it's all tests. Every bad thing that you guys ever go through is just making you better. Okay. Just learn from your mistakes. That's it. We're all going to make mistakes. Just learn from them. Don't repeat your mistakes a bunch of times. Don't be stubborn like I used to be. Okay. I'm still stubborn sometimes. Keep God out of the bedroom. I don't know what you mean, Payaso. I don't know what you mean. I'll go to war or walk 20 miles in 23-degree weather in a t-shirt and jeans. Go, Samurai. Come on, brother. Hey, listen, that's committing adultery, okay? That's lusting after a woman in your heart. If she's your wife, by all means, that is an awesome comment, but That doesn't sound. He said, I'll go to war or walk 20 miles in 23-degree weather in a t-shirt and jeans for a Latina baddie. That, listen, we can all laugh and joke and have fun. That is lusting after a woman in your heart, brother. I know it's super hard to do as a man, but you're going to feel really powerful when you get to the point where you don't look at women as sexual objects or baddies or anything like that, bro. We should be calling women beautiful and stuff like that, not, sexualizing them. But God bless you, man. That got a laugh out of me. Not everybody is superstitious. Yeah, the Bible is definitely not a myth, and it's a very spiritual book. I feel bad sometimes for all the people who really believe that we're only living in a physical 3D reality. You're never going to be able to kind of awaken yourself or awaken your third eye. You're never going to be able to activate that divine love within your own body if you can't come to grips and come to terms with the fact that we are spiritual beings. We're not just physical beings, guys. This is why it's so important to understand that when we die, your body gets left behind here on earth, but what about the other two parts? We're trifectas. We're made in the image of God, right? So what about your soul and your spirit? What do you think happens to those? And listen, your soul and your spirit actually makes up who you are. Your physical husk, right? Your vessel doesn't make up who you are. What makes you click? What makes you tick? It's your spirit. It's your soul. It's not your body, okay? Can't stress that enough. You took the blue pill. I don't even, God bless you, but I don't feed into like the blue pill and the red pill and all that type of stuff. The Matrix is a very real thing. It even references it. If people not understand this, it talks about the Matrix in the book of Exodus. It's a very real thing. And in today's generation, in regards to the Passover and being delivered out of the hands of the enemy, the Matrix referenced here in Exodus is basically talking about breaking free and passing over from the hands of society. That's our enemy today in today's generation, the government and the society. And once you kind of stop feeding into all the lies that they tell us all since birth, you're basically essentially free from the Matrix. And when you break yourself free from the Matrix, now you're becoming an enemy to the people that run the Matrix. And I've experienced this. A lot of gang-stalked individuals are experiencing this right now. It's a very real thing. And this is just how manipulated everybody is, that they can see evidence of stuff happening, like people in the government practicing witchcraft and drinking blood and killing kids. They see the proof of it. They know Epstein Island exists. They know that there's a temple that costs thousands of dollars to build for people that run the society in the US to kill and sacrifice kids to a demon. They see the proof of all these things, but they're so manipulated that they still don't believe it, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell people like that, man. If it like if the devil can show up right in front of your face and you're still telling yourself that evil doesn't exist and that God and the devil don't exist and stuff, like, dude, it's right in front of our face at this point. It's right in front of our face. Like, this storm that's coming in on Sunday that everybody just keeps talking about, bro. I've been trying to tell you guys for weeks that we need to be paying attention to the weather right now. And a lot of people don't believe the stuff I say sometimes. And it just, I'm not even speaking on the storm because it's God. It's the wrath and judgment of God, okay? And we need to be paying attention to these types of things. That's why he's waking up so many people to talk about him and preach the gospel right now and do stuff like this, because people need to wake up, bro. People need to wake up before it is too late. Just like it said in Noah's day, that if there were even 10 righteous people in the town, he would not, flood. He would not flood everything. And we all know what happened. He had to flood it. He saved Noah because he was the only righteous person that literally walked the earth at that point in time, saved him and his family and pairs of livestock and animals so that he could recreate everything after the flood was over. And we're living in those types of times right now. Unfortunately, guys, come with me, walk with me, talk with me, because I'm about to go use this toaster to light this cigar, okay? I haven't smoked one the entire stream, guys. Give me a break, okay? But if you guys are just joining, I did mention earlier, I think I am giving up the cigars and going back to smoking a joint here and there because it's healthier for me. It makes me feel a little bit more at peace within myself, and these are killing me, so I think that's what I'm going to do going forward, but I'm going to be going live later on tonight and talking to you guys about a lot of stuff that's going to be happening here on the channel really, really soon. Okay. And the more I talk about Jesus Christ and stuff on my channel, this is just like one part of it. But the more I talk about God and stuff on my channel, the more I was like putting an expectation of myself that I have to be sinless and I have to be perfect and achieve perfection. I'm not perfect. I'm a human being just like everybody else. And when I started becoming obsessive about things like that and caring about what other Christians are going to think about me and all this stupidity, bro, I don't care what nobody thinks about me at the end of the day. And I've been creating content for almost 2.5 years. Ain't nobody going to tell me the type of content I can make on my channel except for God. And my relationship with God is A-okay. It's actually a lot better now that I released those expectations. So for anybody thinking that you can't walk with God and smoke a joint, eat me, bro. I really don't care at this point. I really don't care. Don't let it be the false idol in your life. Do not allow anything to be the false idol in your life. But this obsession with studying all the time, this obsession with making myself feel like I got to be perfect has actually gotten me further away from the unconditional love that I was showing people every single day. And I've started to almost like hold a little bit of bitterness inside. So I'm done with that. I dropped it yesterday. That's why I didn't go live. I was trying to get closer to God, and it worked. So I feel a lot better. I feel like a 50-ton brick was lifted off of my back. Okay. And yeah, it just is what it is, bro. Now I feel actually unconditionally loving, and I'm not like holding on to stuff that is in the past. I'm not holding on to the attacks of witchcraft. I'm not holding on to all this stuff. I was starting to make myself feel like a general that was leading people into war. That is not what Jesus Christ intended. Okay, we're supposed to be the peacemakers. Let me just go ahead. Verse 9, chapter 5. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. So if overstudying and being over religious is making you feel like you're getting farther away from that unconditional love, stop. Okay, maintain a healthy balance. And also, I've been in the realm of recovery for several years, so I already know this. But anytime that you're making yourself feel forced to quit doing something, it's not going to pan out, bro, because you have to want it in your mind. You have to shift your perspective and choose that willingly. And because of the spiritual warfare and stuff, I was making myself feel like God wouldn't love me anymore if I smoked a joint. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's stupid. And it was starting to eat away at me. So we're going to talk about that a lot more later on tonight. I want to catch as many people as I possibly can, especially on my day ones. They're going to be really excited to hear what I'm about to drop. Okay, tonight. But yeah, we're making some changes to the channel going forward, okay? Blaster says, facts. God bless you, brother. Yeah, the Masons are kind of crazy when you look into the actual history. My grandfather was, but I don't know how far he got. Yeah, I shared some stuff about Freemasonry on the channel, I think about a week ago, that it's crazy how far they go to hide what they actually do. And they're at the top of society, just in case anybody doesn't know that. And if you're being gang stalked, Freemasons are definitely involved in your gang stalking. Okay, they have government access. A lot of them are retired Army veterans, in my experience anyway, a lot of them. Okay, and anybody that is a retired Army veteran, listen, and those people have access to stuff like directed energy weapons, and they know things that the average civilian would not know, and they believe in satanic worship. But if you look up Freemasonry on Google, the description and the definition on Google is trying to tell people that they're Christians. No, they're not. They have their very own religion. It's like a cult. So I would encourage you guys to study Freemasonry a little bit on your own time. It's always good to kind of be aware of who your enemy is and how they think. You want to get into the mind of your enemy if you have any hope of staying ahead of the game and staying ahead of them, especially when you're being attacked by so many of them at the same exact time, okay? Let's read some comments here for a second, then we'll get back to the sermon. Unmasking Purpose. What's going on, brother? Another Bible tuber, a fellow Bible tuber. This guy, I see him being a pastor one day. He is really, really gifted in conveying the gospel and the word of God. You guys should really check his channel out, dude. And I'm being dead serious, bro. Every single video I've watched of yours, brother, you've actually been helping me out with some of your videos. You're doing a really good job. And it's no question to me, now that I've checked out your content, why you feel so strongly about your purpose, because it's the purpose that God has placed inside of you. So keep going, bro. It's going to do wonderful things for you. Just keep going. Face the test. When things get difficult, we must remember, when you're going after your dreams, God is going to start testing you with difficult situations because he wants to see how dedicated you truly are. So when things get hard, you go harder. You do not quit. Don't ever quit. I want to see everybody become successful. I want to see everybody break free from the matrix, okay? We don't want to be making other people rich and other corporations rich till we're 85 years old. They don't care about you. You're replaceable. If you die today, they're going to have somebody else replace your spot tomorrow. Use the system, save money. We all got to work in the system, guys. I'm probably going to have to go back to work here soon too, as long as I can get out of this stupid county, okay? And break free from this identity fraud and stuff that they've been doing on me. But use the system. That doesn't mean that you have to stay in it forever. One of my uncles taught me this a while ago, and I was paying attention to him when I was still on heroin, and I was just like, why is this guy only work like 3 months a year and he just like takes the rest of the year off? It's because he would get really good paying jobs, save up an absurd amount of money in like 3 to 4 months. You can go longer than that if you want. And he would literally just take the rest of the year off, bro, because he didn't buy very many things. He was like content with the bare minimum, and he just stacked up like 20K every year and just took the rest of the year off. I started doing that myself, bro. Yeah, like go get a good factory job and cut out all my extra bills and excess bills. Go and live with somebody, be a roommate, get a roommate, have people share the bills with you. This is how I live, bro. It just is what it is. It's easier in today's economy. And save a bunch of money, dude, and then take the rest of the year off. Then you can work on your passions and your dreams and stuff, guys. You got to think outside the box here. And the more you kind of break free from feeling like you have to have the newest thing all the time and the newest gadget and gizmo and piece of technology, you got to have money to eat fast food every day. That's an addiction anyway, okay? Or for me, for a while, I felt like I had to have a really good job to keep up with doing my weed reviews, and it got expensive, guys. I was spending like $300 a week at some points because I wanted to do a review every single day. Hell no. You can grow weed, number one, and you can grow food. It grows out of the ground naturally, okay? So become a gardener. If I can encourage you guys to do anything, get a greenhouse and start growing stuff yourself. But super exciting news later on for all the OGs. I cannot wait, bro. Anyway, what point was I trying to make? ADHD is a killer, savages, okay? Unmasking Purpose, though. It's really good to see you in the stream, bro. Born and raised in the fantastic state of Ohio, bro. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't be growing poppy. Okay, that's how they make Heron, but I wouldn't be growing that. Spencer, what's up, brother? If I missed any of your questions, I'm sorry, man. So many comments flood in. Like certain streams we do, it's just like nonstop comments flooding in. It depends on the time of day that I stream, because it's like during the week there are a lot of people at work right now. That's why I'm going live again later on tonight. But I always upload these live streams as like long form videos. The very next day they will upload as videos. You guys can always go back and watch them, rewatch them if you missed the stream. Yeah, class just started. Unmasking Purpose has a really good channel here, talking about the word and the gospel. Really good. It would be a great way to overcome the cost of living crisis and thrive, and also making food. Yeah, cultivating a homestead type of lifestyle. This is something I'm going to be doing going forward, guys. I don't think I'm going to live in Ohio forever. For right now, it just is what it is. I want to be able to try to make a positive difference in my own neighborhood before I try to do it anywhere else. And I think that's a part of my test as well. We're the salt of the earth, guys. We're meant to bring light to areas that are, thriving in darkness and stuff like this. So I'm probably not going to be able to leave until I complete my mission here. But my ultimate goal is to start living in an area that's, I love being outside, man. I like being outside. I like being in nature. I don't like being cooped up in a house all the time. And Ohio is cold most of the year. It's getting worse every single year as well. It's not getting any better. It doesn't seem that way anyway. And I'm just being 100% real. I want to grow my own food. I want to grow my own medicine. I want to grow my own bud. I want to live off the land. I want to have a very cheap and limited lifestyle. I don't want to. I'm sick and tired, dude. I'm sick and tired of society, bro. Like, I'm sick of it. I'm tired of playing by their rules. I'm tired of somebody telling me what to do all the time. My only master is Jesus Christ, bro. I don't need to be being told what to do by somebody who doesn't even care about me all the time, guys. That's why I say, Get in the system, use it. We all got to work a job, but save money and have a plan to get out. Don't get too comfortable doing that, bro. Unless you really enjoy it. If you really enjoy it, there are a lot of people who are raising families and stuff, and they're content with that. I just want you guys to know, though, man, like, society doesn't have anything good in mind for any of us. So you definitely want to learn, at least on some capacity, how to make money on your own, or else you will. Because when they bring this mark of the beast thing, guys, in this digital ID, and they start telling everybody, because this is, prophecy in the book of Revelation, they're literally already doing it in certain parts of the world. It's gonna hit the United States at some point, guys. So I want to really, this is some of the stuff that God really wanted me to talk to you guys about, and I've been kind of like trying to avoid it. We ain't doing that. Let's just talk about it right now. Okay. When the mark of the beast comes in, for all the people who don't know how to make a little bit of money on their own, and it's hard to do. You gotta educate yourself, you gotta learn, you gotta study and stuff, but it's possible to do, guys. If I can do it, you guys can do it, okay? And it's really only possible because of the Lord anyway. So I gotta give it all to God. But if you don't know how else to make money and you're like conform to the things of the world and society and having material possession to be happy, you're probably not going to say no to the mark of the beast. You're probably going to take the digital ID, which is essentially something that allows you to buy, sell, and work in the system. So if you can't see a way out of the system, I already see it now. A lot of people are going to not even understanding what they're really signing up for, but they're going to take that digital ID, and they're going to start threatening people that you're going to get thrown in prison. Why do you think they're building all these FEMA camps, these concentration camps and stuff for the last like decade? They've been building these all across the states. They're not building that stuff for no reason, guys. I can tell you right now, they're not just wasting money and tax dollars. I mean, they waste our tax dollars on everything every day, but they're not wasting money to build those things for no reason, okay? And for anyone wondering, this isn't a conspiracy theory. Look it up, dude. United Kingdom already announced that they're coming in with this digital ID. So parts of the world are literally already doing it. They're already rolling it out. And by this dude said by law, it is not an option. You must take digital ID. That's the mark of the beast, guys. Says it right in the book of Revelation that the mark will come and it will prevent people from being able to buy or sell things. So over 2,000 years ago, John literally prophesied and had a vision from God himself. And he's seen it happen over 2,000 years ago, and it's happening right now. So for anyone that doesn't believe in the Bible and stuff, I'm just here to tell you guys that the people at the top of the positions of power in the U.S. and, all across the world, they believe in the Bible. Okay. And they're trying their best to get this prophecy to come true. So whether we believe in the Bible or not, they do. And they're trying to make this stuff happen, and it's working. It's happening, guys. God is speaking heavily. This storm that's rolling in is all from the Lord, baby. He's speaking right now. He's trying to warn us. He's trying to warn everybody, guys. If you don't get it together, I'm going to have to. Okay? And we don't want God being that mad at us. All right? So we should all start changing, start being positive, start loving each other, start really doing away with the hatred and the judgmental, type of mindset, and like thinking we're better than each other, trying to willingly hurt each other. If anybody in the chat is a gang stalker, that's one of the most evil things that I've ever heard of somebody doing to somebody. And I've been living through it for a year and a half. I don't know what would possess you guys literally just because of money. That is evil. And I would really suggest you guys stop doing that, lest you face the judgment from God the Father. Okay. And that's not something I want for anybody. I don't want to see anybody go to hell. I'm just going to put it how it is. I don't want to see that, bro. So how gang stalker, payaso. We've been talking about gang stalking for a couple weeks now, but if you don't know what it is, I would look into it, bro. It's some disgusting stuff. The only name and religion that is being suppressed is Jesus and Christianity. Yeah, class just started. It also says in the book of Revelation that Christians will be persecuted and murdered in the end times. Okay, it does say that. It's happening. They're killing Christians in Nigeria. I don't think they're killing them anymore because the Lord is working through Donald Trump and he put a stop to that. I'm pretty sure. I don't look into politics very often, guys, because I don't believe in the system or the ways of the system. I don't believe in politics. I truly, honestly believe that they predetermine who's going to be president before we even vote. We don't have freedom of anything out here. They have the illusion of freedom, but really everything out in the States kills you. It's all poisonous. Every decision that we do have, it's like choosing the lesser of both evils. It is what it is. This is the stuff I pay attention to anyway, guys. And the second you try to become a free thinker and break away from it, oh, now you're being put on a terrorist watch list, and they're trying to suppress your voice, and they're trying to get rid of you or throw you in prison, or the loony bin, or they're trying to get you to kill yourself, or they try to kill you. So if this was truly a free country, you would be able to tell people the truth, and that should be the right thing to do right now. Apparently not in the States, bro. You become an enemy of the state, all right, basically, and I've become one of their enemies. It just is what it is, man, because I was showing people how to be happy with less. I was trying to show people that, you can go through bad things in your life and still spread positivity. You can still go through bad things and not let it define you. And this gang stalking is just yet another test that the Lord has allowed in my life to see if bad circumstance would get me away from him and showing people love, and to see if I would start being bitter within myself over the stuff that I was losing and stuff. Just like Job, everything will be returned, and you'll get twice as much as you lost if you stay committed to God. Okay, savages, and I'm still in the infancy of reaping everything that I've sowed back, and it's a process. You got to give God time. You got to be patient, but getting monetized here on the channel is just the beginning of all that stuff, and I'm still seeing good stuff come in every single day, and learning how to be happy even if you don't have any money is super essential, guys. First off, if you guys want to attract more financial abundance into your life, the last thing you want to do is stress about money all the time, because basically what you're doing is you're keeping yourself in a vibration of fear. It's almost like you're repelling money away from you. Okay, just like it also describes in the Bible that the way we should be praying to God is having so much faith in God that, he's already actually answered our prayers. And it's about to kind of mention this briefly as we go through the sermon here. Jesus explaining to people that God already knows what our needs are. But, if you don't go to him and ask him and show faith that he can give those things to you, he can't do it. Yeah, he can't do it. You know what I mean, guys? Spencer, thank you so much. True Savage. You're a true savage as well. All of you guys are savages, man. Listen, if I popped up on your feed, there's a reason. God doesn't make mistakes. So if you guys are here, there must be a good reason for it, man. There must be a good reason for it, and all of you guys are savages. We all have the savage within, okay? I used to be the kid that got bullied in school, the outcast, the black sheep, the kid that people used to call weird and stuff. And now that I'm older and, doing all these different things, it's funny how things kind of reverse and get flipped on their head. So being the black sheep is actually a good sign that you're set apart by the Lord. Okay, you're meant to be different. You're not meant to conform to the ways of the world and the ways of society, and you're meant to be an example. And how exciting is that? Okay, how exciting is that? I'm an American too, roll up. I'm an American too. Am I proud to be one? Sometimes, no, I'm not. Okay, honestly, I'm just going to be 100% real with you, bro. That's correct, Sets. You must be pure-hearted. The frequency of God is love. You must act out of your heart to remain in alignment with God. Yes, absolutely. And what do we see, guys? I speak on this quite often. I try to as much as possible. But what do we see within the church communities nowadays? One word comes to mind for me: judgmental. Judgmental. Oh, you do this or you do this. No matter how much love you show somebody, you're going to hell. How dare you? Bro, that is like Pharisee vibration. Okay, you're given like religious cult vibration. You're not given Jesus Christ vibration. And listen, even Jesus says they persecuted me before they ever persecuted you. So expect the persecutions. If you're doing my works for my sakes, they're gonna come after you. This is something that we have to expect. And the longer you do it, the easier it is to deal with, guys. It makes you feel a little bit good about yourself because you must be doing the right thing. They killed Jesus Christ, the one true Son of God, because he was so different, and he was here to kind of divide. He was here to divide the world from the people who are set apart from it, okay? And when you start telling people that it's not okay to be like fed into the ways of the matrix and the system, all the people who live within the matrix are going to hate your guts, bro. They're going to hate your guts. It just is what it is. And I deal with this on the daily, bro. I don't care, man. If anybody hates me, they must be lacking something within themselves, because you wouldn't have the capacity to hate anybody unless that was true. Okay. And the enemy has to be working through those people as well, man, because you can't have the the spirit of Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit and that unconditional love if you're hating anybody, even your enemies, guys. It's a really big lesson you're going to learn as you walk with Jesus Christ, how to forgive your enemies. It's super difficult, especially if you're being gang stalked. Love the demons right out of those people, man. Love the demons right out of their body. I'm telling you guys, it's literally the only thing that works anyway. So you're gonna eventually have to learn that. But and I had to learn it. I was fighting them for a long time, guys. I'm done with that, bro. I'm retiring my sword and I'm giving it to the Lord, okay? And He can deal with all those people. And I'm gonna do everything in my power to get back to my own life, okay? And I want to be an example, you know, first and foremost, that you don't have to let it define your entire story. It's not the end of your story, guys. Get closer to God, get into alignment with Jesus Christ, and then everything is going to start going in your favor. I promise you guys, I'm not the only one that has seen this happen. All of my mentors that God has placed in my path, Jonathan Toma being one of them, he was gang stalked for about 4 years and, you know, literally learned the same exact set of lessons. And because he had to go through it for so long, he was able to kind of give me the sauce and give me a lot of great tips and, you know, great advice. So I didn't have to go through it for 4.5 years. And, you know, I've been dealing with it for about 1.5 years and I'm stepping into my blessings now. So I'm just trying to kind of give you guys the sauce now so you guys don't have to go through it for nearly as long as I even did, because that was the longest 1.5 years of my life, bro. I mean, there are a lot of times I feel like maybe the days I was on heroin were worse than my gang stalking. But as somebody who has a big heart and I love my family and I love my friends and even my ex-girlfriends and stuff that have done me super dirty, I still care about them as well. I really do. And it was getting to me to think that all the people that I helped out the most over the years are the ones that are stabbing me in the back for money. It really started to get to me for a little while, guys, but that's just going to do nothing but create bitterness and resentment in your own heart. And that's the trick of the enemy. He wants to pull you away from Jesus Christ. So don't care about it. You know, don't think about it all day long and marinate on it and just let it overtake every thought inside of your mind. Continue to be yourself. Pray more. Close all your open doors, guys. Quickness to anger, premarital sex, lust, any of that stuff that we know is not okay in the eyes of Jesus, okay? The 10 Commandments, start following those as closely as you possibly can. And if you guys are being gang stalked and God is allowing it for you in your life to get stronger, you must by spiritual law be lacking within something under the 10 Commandments. You must be out of alignment in some way, and He's just trying to get you closer to Him. That's really it. Even if your situation is like Job's, where he literally was one of the most righteous people on the earth and he wasn't being punished by God, but God wanted to show him that, hey, you're getting a little bit too self-righteous, Job. You need to depend on me a little bit more than you do. And I resonate with that a lot. That's why I love the book of Job so much. Even if that's the case, just understand, guys, no matter how far you get in your walk with Christ, no matter how much you love other people and do that, we must never stop depending on God, because we're not bigger than Him. We're not better than Him. We definitely do not know more than God. Okay. And that's something that I was doing. I thought that I learned so much at a certain point that I didn't have to pray every day anymore. I thought I learned so much at a certain point that I didn't have to study my word anymore and stuff like this, guys. And He was just trying to show me that, hey, man, you're getting further away from me. You're doing good. You're helping people. You're doing this and you're doing that, but you're not talking to me anymore, John. What's going on? I need you to talk to me, son. So that was one of the things that I had to learn, guys, is how to give control completely to God. Ha! I'll sit in your room for a few hours when you hear an engine sound. Hope you get your face mask ready. I don't even know what you're talking about, Mark. That sounded like the biggest gang stalker type of comment I've ever heard, brother. God bless your soul and your spirit. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day, though. Okay. They just brought me down and took me off my destined path. Oh, class just started. Listen, they did the same exact thing to me for an extended period of time, and we allow those things to happen. But you're walking in the authority of Jesus Christ. Okay, so your sins have already been forgiven, and you don't have to let them bring you down. We all make the decision to let those things happen because we're usually holding on to something way too tightly. Like, if they take something away from you, just understand that it's really not the enemy, it's God. He's taking that away from you for a good reason, because it must not need to be in your life. So when you start realizing that God is in control of everything, you can look at it a slightly different way. And when you look at it a different way, like, they're not attacking me, God is allowing me to be thrown in the pit because you're a lion. You're a lion in the eyes of God, and He just wants to train you up to realize that you're a lion, okay? And this is great news, guys. This is great news to understand that you have a big purpose on your life. And everybody that truly, commits themselves to Jesus Christ, you're gonna be set apart from the Lord, and you're gonna get a purpose on your life. And these things are decided before the foundations of the world. So if we're being gang stalked and stuff, it's just really God's way of saying, you're slightly out of alignment with the life that I want you to be living. So let me allow a circumstance in your life to happen that is so egregious that you literally are in a corner, your back's against the wall, and you have to call out on me. You have no choice but to call out on me. And 100 witches coming after you, that's one of those situations. Okay, savages? Okay. So I'll check these comments out, and then we're going to get back to the sermon. Yeah, death and life is in the tongue, spoken word. Yeah, absolutely. And this is the people in the witchcraft communities understand this a lot more than even some Christians do. They understand that the power is in the tongue. So if they can get you out of alignment and get you mad and get you angry and get you irritated and get you cussing them out and yelling at them and screaming at them, I fell into this trap in the first few months of it, guys. I was seriously hurt by the things they were doing, and I was arguing with them. They want you to speak death out of your mouth. They want you mad. They want you away from Jesus Christ because they want to stop you from your purpose. And they see your purpose most times, more often than not. Your gang stalkers see your purpose before you guys even do, because most of the chosen ones don't look at themselves in a high regard, guys. It just is what it is. Your gang stalkers do. They feel like, because of the light that you show, and you're an example of what light looks like, it makes them feel uncomfortable because it starts making them feel like, oh, you're exposing the stuff that I'm doing wrong. Being around you, I can't lie anymore to people. Like, a lot of those people portray themselves to be good people when they're really not. And when a narcissist gets around a real person of light, like somebody that truly is an example of what salt looks like, they start getting uncomfortable. Like, oh, I can't lie around this person anymore. This person makes me look bad. That's the stuff they start thinking, savages, okay? And we got to understand that it's not your fault that they feel this way about you. All you're doing is being yourself, and they're going to try to pull you down. But don't stop being yourself because of those people. This is something that, this is something that I've been dealing with, guys. Just to briefly touch on what I'm going to talk to you guys about later tonight. I've mentioned this a couple of times that, I was doing reviews here on the channel for 2 years, and my biggest dream was to kind of work in the industry and be able to help people on the front lines and, really advocate through my testimony and my story of addiction and stuff like this. I got to do it for a couple of months, and God showed me literally a lot of the people right in front of my face and how they felt about me. They hated me, bro. A lot of these people still hate me. They didn't want me working in the industry, so they tried everything in their power to keep me from doing it. And I let that get to me for a while, savages. And then I started getting in my head because of the spiritual warfare, and I literally started giving those people exactly what they wanted. And I just quit doing my thing altogether. And in doing that, feeling forced to do that, it started making me feel even more bitter inside. Does that make sense, guys? You have to make the decision to want to do something, and you're not going to feel passionate about it unless you make that decision. So making yourself feel forced to do something, or God isn't going to love me anymore, that was getting me further away from the Lord. And, some of the streams that I've done the last week, I look back at a couple of them and I was just like, I could see this with my own eyes. I'm not as happy or unconditionally loving as I once was. I'm letting these people get to me way too much, and they want to control you guys first and foremost. They want to control your life, and I'm not letting it happen anymore. I'm not letting it happen anymore. I was letting it happen for a period of time. It's not happening anymore. I don't care what they think about me or how they feel about me. That's their problem. They need to look in the mirror and deal with it themselves and take it to God. And until they do, they're going to continuously feel negative about me and whoever else that makes them feel bad about who they are. And I am not going to let them stop me from, walking in my purpose and, stepping into my destiny. And the Lord will use people in any way that he sees fit that will be able to reach people. And he uses broken people literally all the time. And I am not perfect. I am not completely whole all the time, every single day. I'm a human being. And yeah, it is what it is, bro. We're not doing that anymore. I am going to be creatively free on this channel. And anything that God doesn't want me to do, he's going to let me know with the conviction of the Holy Spirit. And that's all I'm going to say about that right now. But I'm so excited, guys. I'm so excited, bro. I've been limiting myself, guys, about how I'm doing my content lately. I've been really self-limiting myself because I'm talking about the Lord now. I'm giving you guys the gospel. We're studying this stuff together. And a lot of these thoughts be popping up in my head, or they were before I dealt with it in the bud, but they were like, popping up in my head about all these church people and all these religious people who are going to look at me a certain way if I smoke weed. And I could care less, bro. I was holding on to that way too much. I'm not trying to impress any of those people. I'm trying to be an example of what light looks like. So at the end of the day, anything that is keeping me away from doing that, gotta go. The whole mindset, gotta go. I threw it in the trash yesterday, had to go. I am authentic. I am who God made me to be. And that's actually how I show unconditional love the most. When I'm trying to force myself to be somebody I'm not, it gets me away from that unconditional love. So people can think about, whatever they want about that. It is what it is. But we're not doing that anymore. Okay. Truth will prevail. Yes, this is another great, Spencer, I love you, bro. This is another great reason why it's not really a great idea to go to war and fight your gang stalkers in the flesh, because even God says, okay, that everything done in darkness will be exposed in the light. So you don't really have to go out of your way to try to prove your case. In fact, if I'm being honest with all you guys, for any targeted individuals, when God was showing up in my life the most, and like really his power was being exhibited against my gang stalkers the most, is when I ignored them altogether. When I completely ignored what they were doing. I wasn't trying too hard to like over explain my situation and trying to like over explain that I'm innocent and I didn't do anything to any of them. That's when God was cooking the most. Okay. So I just want to also kind of tell you guys that, like, the more you place your fear in God and the more that you understand you didn't do anything wrong. So why you don't have to go out of your way to over explain it to other people. After a certain period of time, if you're truly walking in Christ consciousness and you're with the Lord and you're, walking under his statutes and you're doing the right thing every day, when people try to make up lies about you and continuously do anything they can to pull you down, and they're like creating false police reports on you and committing identity fraud on you and stuff, those people are going to be exposed by their wickedness naturally. We're not even going to have to say anything about it. And the same thing has started to happen for me. A lot of the people who have been slandering my name and making up stories about me and lying through their teeth about me and just like painting an image of me that is completely false, those people at this point look crazy themselves, because I've just been focusing on God this entire time, and people are starting to notice that now. And people will notice the same thing about all of you guys if you're dealing with this and you're a targeted individual. Okay, savages, just continue to be yourself, continue to be an example of light. I'm going to say that as many times as I can. And light always exposes darkness by spiritual law. That just is what it is. And you're going to notice that for yourself. The more you really try to be authentic and be like, listen, be a child of God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. So advocate for peace, even if they are attacking you guys, especially the ones that attack you guys. Be the peacemaker in the situation. God is going to love that. God is going to love that every single time. And you will feel that he loves that. When you make when you make the wrong decision, the Holy Spirit is going to convict you, and you're going to feel that you made a wrong decision. Okay. And I've been noticing this with all the chosen ones that I follow, and a lot of the ones that even have helped me out. It seems like we're all going through the same type of universal shift right now at the same exact time. A lot of us are realizing that we want peace. We want peace in the situation. I'm not trying to go to war with a bunch of gang stalkers. I'm not trying to go to war with a bunch of witch artists and, witchcraft artists and warlocks and cults and covens. God is going to take care of that. This is his fight. This ain't even my fight. The best thing that I can do right now is continue to be myself and spread positivity and be an example of what that looks like. That's the best thing I can do. Standing up here and encouraging people to go to war with their gang stalkers and stuff like that, no. Jesus Christ, he's letting all the chosen ones know the same thing, especially the ones that do content. I've been noticing this the last 3 days. All the people that I follow and all the people who went through gang stalking themselves, and they're like doing coaching and stuff like this, and like teaching people to stand up against their gang stalkers. That is all well and good and everything, but at the end of the day, that's not really giving it to God. If we feel like we have to stand up and like fight with these people or fight against them, or else we're not going to make it through. First off, you're not having faith in God for what he can do for you, number one. And number two, you're kind of taking vengeance upon yourself. And that's not something that I am trying to be an example of whatsoever. Also, it hasn't made me feel very happy, since I've started doing it. I haven't had that peace within, which is the whole point about Jesus Christ and the truth setting us free, that he died on the cross for our sins, okay? And it's kept me away from having that peace within. And if I'm not feeling peaceful within my content, it's going to kind of resonate through my content. Other people are going to be able to pick up on that. I've been picking up on it, and I'm done with it. I'm so happy to say that, bro. I feel so much lighter, bro. I feel so much freer. I'm done with it. I'm going to be myself, man, and not a single one of those gang stalkers are going to stop it. None of them are going to stop it. They can sit back and be bitter all they like. I don't care anymore, bro. I'm not here to please man. I'm here to please God at the end of the day, and all of us should feel the same exact way. Who cares about pleasing other people, okay? Sin is to miss the mark, to make the wrong choice, even though you can feel from within that it is wrong. Absolutely, conviction of the Holy Spirit is going to let you know when you're making the wrong decision each and every single time. And this might sound crazy to some of you guys, what I'm about to tell you, but I've been convicted in the Holy Spirit several times in the last week and a half to 2 weeks that the direction I'm taking on my channel isn't exactly what he intended for me to do. And I can feel that within. I could feel it within. I started feeling like, man, I'm not truly being authentic, man. And because I wasn't truly being authentic, my passion was going away to do the content in the first place. So I was getting away from my study a little bit. I wasn't studying as much as I knew I could have. And as soon as I let go of those expectations of what other people expect from me, oh my goodness, bro. I studied for an hour and a half last night. I smoked a joint yesterday. I took a nap. I woke up feeling so rested and peaceful. I studied the book of Matthew for an hour and a half, and now we just had a 2.5 hour stream this morning. I'm in a great mood, and I don't care what other people think about me. So once again, that's a win, bro. So yeah. Getting away from who you are authentically or forcing yourself to behave a certain way because you care too much about what other people might think about it. In my experience, it's gotten me away from the unconditional love that I was already showing everybody willingly. And sitting here listen, I am going to encourage you guys to get away from a narcissist every single chance I get, but we shouldn't be condemning them. They're human beings too. And, they're deserving of God's love too. And the more that I try to encourage people, listen, I'm not saying that you need to go out and slander narcissists. I'm saying you shouldn't be sitting around them willingly. You need to mark them, get away from them, and move on. But you shouldn't be talking crap about them. You shouldn't be making it seem like, the stuff they do is evil. It's wicked, absolutely. But the vengeance isn't ours. The vengeance belongs to the Father, and we shouldn't be judging anybody, okay? I'm just going to put it like that, guys, for what that is. Don't be hanging out with them, and you won't have to, run the risk of getting mad or irritated because of a narcissist and their behavior. And, I got to take accountability, and I was sitting around narcissistic people willingly. I got narcissistic people in my family, bro. I still have to deal with some of their crap on the daily right now. I just try my best to not talk to them very much and go around them very often and try to distance myself as much as possible, because I know if I start communicating with these people and go around them willingly, I know how they behave. I know how they act. I know the stuff that they do. I know they lie about me. I know they try to attack me. All I'm doing is opening up a door to argue with somebody. So that's why it's so important to kind of stay away from people like that. But don't be judging them. That's not for us. That's for God. Okay. At the end of the day. So, the way that I kind of administer some of this information going forward is going to be slightly different. That's why I've chosen to release some of my emotion through music, because I have to. You got to release that in some way, or you're going to keep it pent up inside and it's going to start to destroy you. So you definitely have to release it in some way. And if you're not talking to somebody about it, for me, I choose to release that stuff through music, through my creative passions, and try to transmute the negativity and put it into something that might help somebody else. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to feel peaceful, bro. I'm trying to feel happy. I'm trying to live my life. And by doing that, I'm going to be able to help more people than I would be if I was trying too hard to be somebody I'm not. Does that make any type of sense, savages? Okay. As the Amazon being environmentally gang stalked, I don't know what's happening in the Amazon. Setup, people pleaser no more. It's been one of my tests, bro. And for a lot of empaths, you're going to be tested with the same exact thing. I would encourage you guys, don't care about what other people think. Care about what God thinks about you at the end of the day. And definitely never let somebody else try to tell you how God feels about you, because they have no possible way of knowing that. All of our relationship with the Lord is personal. It's between us and him. And anybody is, and it's most of the time other Christians, sadly, guys, I hate to say that, but in my experience, it's mostly other Christians and people that go to church and stuff like this. They're the main ones that try to tell other people God doesn't love you and this, that. Bro, you're missing the point of what Jesus came to do in the first place. If you're talking to people like that and you're judging people in that type of way, you need to clean out your own closet before you go around pointing your finger at somebody else. My stepdad used to say that, and for some reason it just popped in my head. God rest his soul. I wish he was still here to see some of the stuff that I have built on the channel. He would lose his mind, but I know he's watching from heaven. So as an empath, narcissistic people seek you out. Yeah, absolutely. Empathetic people attract the narcissist until you learn your lesson and start setting boundaries. And once narcissists see that you have boundaries, they won't even approach you anymore. So it's all in the name of learning that spiritual lesson. Yeah, in the book of Exodus, it talks a lot about the Matrix. A lot of people don't know that, but it's not in the new versions of the Bible. They take it out. That's why I stay with King James, guys. They also take out the verses about fasting and prayer being one of the easiest and quickest ways to break demonic strongholds in your life. They take that out of some of these new versions. They take out the stuff about the Matrix. Yeah, it's all in the book of Exodus, guys. We already went through that a couple weeks ago. We can talk about it again here soon, maybe, but right now we're not. I have cut ties with all narcissistic family as well. They cause me to feel unwell. Yeah, I'm still in the process of doing that. I'm not, right now, I'm not financially stable enough to get away from them. So I'm actually living with some of them, but it is what it is. God is opening doors for me every day. And this is why it's so important to save money, savages, so that, you know what I mean, you can build wealth on your own. And as soon as I'm able to, I'm out of here, bro. And that's a boundary that I don't care what they feel about that, but my family has tried to kill me. So they don't get to see me anymore. That just is what it is. They can watch from afar, and I'll love them from a distance. Stop judging Christians to these worldly people. I'm not judging Christians, brother. I'm giving you guys the truth. A lot of those people are the judgmental ones. So if you run across somebody that's trying to point their finger at you and tell you you're going to hell for doing this, or this, yeah, that's Pharisee type of behavior. And I'm just being honest. I get nauseous and feel a huge weight on me around narcissists. Yeah, because you're spiritually gifted and you have spiritual discernment and you can literally pick up the energy of other people. That's kind of funny you say that, because I literally experience the same thing. When I am around somebody who has a bad intention for me, I feel literally uncomfortable. And I chose to feel literally uncomfortable by staying in a toxic relationship for 2 years and then wonder why I wasn't feeling right. Yeah, if somebody makes you feel that way, you're gifted. Number one, Josh, God bless you for the gift, brother. Thank you so much, and I hope you're having a blessed morning. But class just started. Anytime somebody makes you feel like that, first off, you're gifted. So use your gift. Seriously, use your gift. It's there for a reason. God planted that inside of you to be able to detect who is good for you to be around and who isn't. And I was ignoring that for way too long. I was sitting around people who my body was letting me know they had bad intention for me literally all the time, and I just wasn't listening to it. I refused to listen to it. So at the end of the day, some of my gang stalking, I just got to take accountability. I shouldn't have been around those people anyway. And listen, when I was chasing my dreams for 2 years and I was doing my reviews here on the channel and stuff, this is another thing you're going to be tested with when you're trying to become successful and you're going after your dreams. God is going to start showing you exactly how people feel about you right in front of your face so that they cannot come with you, so that you can learn how to have boundaries in your life. This is another test that you guys will be faced with, especially if you're on the path of chasing your dreams and stuff like this, okay? And another thing, if you have a dream since a child into adulthood that you literally cannot stop thinking about, it's absolutely from God at the end of the day. And I want to tell you guys that as well. A lot of people question their dreams and stuff like that. I've even started to do that because I cared way too much about what other people thought about me. That's over, bro. And I feel so much better, man. Going forward, it's going to be super exciting here on the channel. But anyway, if somebody's making you feel anxiety, or they're making you feel uncomfortable or shaky around them, you're picking up on very negative intentioned energy. And I would encourage you to get away from those people. And as an empath, we're all going to be faced with the lesson of dealing with a narcissistic individual. Get away from them. Stop suffering their wickedness. Please stop suffering their wickedness. Okay. Yeah, your body will absolutely pick up on that. How do you tell the difference between God working through someone and someone who is pretending because they need the attention from gullible Christians? I'm taking that as a negative comment, but I can tell you right now, as it says in the Bible, you will be able to tell them by their fruits. And what he means by fruit is essentially having Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior in your life and being able to see that somebody has the conviction of the Holy Spirit. So you're going to start being able to see, witness with your own eyes that somebody has the Holy Spirit, because they're going to start changing. They're going to start changing as an individual. They're going to start trying harder to become a better person, a more loving person, getting away from willing sin and stuff like that. You're going to be able to see the fruit of the Holy Spirit in their life. And it's, the closer you get to Jesus Christ, the more obvious it's going to be when somebody has the fruit of the Holy Spirit. Okay, brother? I hope that answered your question. Okay. Yeah, Payaso, just to answer that briefly, when it comes to THCA flower, I guess you better enjoy it while you can, because at the end of 2026, it's going to become illegal for anyone to ship that stuff. And it's all in the name of money. So I don't think they're going to go back on that decision. But I mean, we'll see. I never got into stuff like that anyway, bro, because a lot of those THCA companies spray their stuff. That's why it's so cheap and affordable, because it's basically just Regipack that they spray with like chemicals and fake flavoring. You got to question anytime you're finding ounces for like $30. That's also being shipped and it's still only $30. You got to question that stuff. That's why I tell, when I worked in the dispensaries and stuff out here, I told people all the time that even though it's expensive in Ohio, don't hate on it too much, because Ohio has so much regulation. It's probably one of the safest states that you can buy pot out of a dispensary. There's still some stuff that sneaks in through the cracks. Just check my pesticide video. But for the most part, if you compare Ohio to Michigan, first off, Michigan has a shelf life capacity of 2 years before they have to throw anything away. Why do you think it's so cheap out there? Most of the stuff's been sitting on the shelf for a year plus. So they're just trying to give it away. Ohio doesn't do stuff like that. It's much more of a medical state, but that's a topic for another video. What else do we got here? The fruit, all that comes from them, tell us who they are in God. Seta, absolutely right, brother. I think from the recent live streams, from what I was picking up from you, you're a generational curse breaker. So you're probably faced with a lot of this stuff that we're talking about on these live streams almost every day. So especially for people like you, Seta, and you're always super positive, brother. I love you. I love you. Narcissism equals intentional malice, deliberate wickedness. Yeah. A narcissist isn't manipulating you by accident. Just in case anybody was wondering, it's not accidental. It's intentional, which is the worst form of evil. Okay, guys. Like, everybody, we're human. People make mistakes, but narcissistic individuals, listen, before I got with one the first time, I'm just being real with you guys, I never even knew that people roam the earth that behave that way. That they literally wake up out of bed and live to hurt other people. It's a sickness and a disease within those people. I'm not judging them, but that's the truth of the matter. And that's why I'm encouraging you guys to get away from those types of people. Don't judge them. Don't humiliate them and talk bullcrap about them. We don't repay evil with evil. Get away from them. Don't sit around those people, because it's going to pull you down, bro. Okay? Female, and yes, I am the curse breaker. Generational curse breaker, black sheep of the bloodline. I love to see that, man. I absolutely love to see it. It's people like you I really want in the channel right now, because I'm trying to build this community up. Let Jesus Christ's light shine through you. Absolutely, Eugene, brother. I think, brother, I tried to email you something a couple days ago because you gifted me with $5. You really helped me out that day. I had absolutely no money. You fed me that day. So thank you so much for that, brother, and God bless you and your family. I mean that, and I'm dead serious. Okay? Let's see what else we got here. I knew someone who loved others more than Jesus. Oh, wait, that's almost everyone. Not me, though. That's why I'm reminding all, love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Serious. Yes, absolutely, guys. Absolutely. And that's where the term, the fear of God is the beginning of judgment, comes from in the first place, okay? it's not that you're supposed to fear God because he is like a scary God. That's not at all what it's trying to say. It's just that you love God so much for all the grace that he has given you and all the times he's forgiven you, and you're actually grateful for the life that you have, and you understand that, you know, he could take anything good out of your life away in the snap of a finger if he so chooses, okay? And that you fear upsetting God. You love God so much because of everything that he has given to you and done for you in your life and blessed you and just forgiven you for all your sins willingly every single day. Gave us Jesus Christ to die on the cross, that you fear upsetting your Father in heaven. That's what that term means. It doesn't mean that you should fear God because he's a scary God. He can do scary things. Let me tell you what, we're seeing it right now. We're seeing it play out. And it's no question why, bro. The world is so wicked right now, bro. It's so wicked, bro. Narcissism is taking over. This is why I'm talking about it so much, because it's taking over. And if you guys know, paid attention to any of the other chosen ones who do content, they're talking about the same things right now. It's because we're all going through this universal shift, okay? It's a brand new cycle, a brand new year. We're in 2026 now. Last year, if you guys weren't, we're not even going to get into it in this video. We'll talk about that later tonight, okay, when we're not doing the daily devotional. But speaking of the daily devotional, I kind of want to wrap up this because we didn't fully finish the Sermon on the Mount. So let's see if we do not hide anything from God. No, God sees all things. You're born on the Sabbath and marked upon your forehead. Yeah, I have different little things marked on me too. My right hand has a 7 on it, and I always used to think that was super weird. And then when I dealt with my gang stalking, it became a lot more obvious. And then I started meeting a lot of other people who dealt with the same thing. And there was always little signs also when, for anybody, put your hands together and see if you have a half moon on your hand. That's another really big sign that you're a chosen one, okay? And that you're an agent of the kingdom of heaven. I don't talk about this stuff all the time. I don't like to bring unnecessary attention to me, but I'm being gang stalked, so I'm a targeted individual. There's nothing I could possibly do to get away from that at this point. I just got to give it all to God. So at the end of the day, it's whatever at this point. I don't really care. Okay. Let's see what else we got here, man. In 2015, I learned that God had worked for me to do, but I was too emotionally attached to my mother. Wow. She died in 2018 and the narcissistic attacks increased. Wow. I actually really resonate with that, bro. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm sorry, you're not a bro, you're a lady. I forgot that. I'm sorry, Seta. But wow, I resonated with that so heavily, man, because listen, I don't talk about this much. I started this channel with the intention of retiring my mother. I wanted to build this up and, you know, start my own business and work in the cannabis industry and stuff for Ohio. And I wanted to kind of get out of the matrix and retire my mother because she raised all 3 of her kids by herself and she still works to this day. And it broke my freaking heart, bro, to find out that that was one of the people involved in my stalking. I'm not going to speak about it too much because the vengeance isn't mine, but that's something I dealt with myself. And God had to teach me how to have boundaries with people. Listen, just because somebody's your blood doesn't mean that they're family. Your brothers and sisters and your family are the ones who are saved through Jesus Christ. That's your actual family, and we all must understand that, okay? You're not bound by blood, all right? They want to make you believe that, but if they're trying to gang stalk you, at that point in time, I must draw a line in the sand, no matter how much I love you. Be cast away from me. I'm still, honestly, like I have mentioned, I'm still living with some of these people until I have the financial opportunity to leave, and that's why we're working so hard here on the channel, and we're trying to make that happen. So as soon as I am able to do that, the boundaries in place, I'm leaving, and they're going to be forced to watch me leave and let me leave. And this is one of the reasons why my family has gotten involved in this in the first place, because I saved up a bunch of money last year from my job. I was welding and saving up, you know, as much money as I could, and I left, and I wanted to start my own life and start raising my own family. They didn't like that. They wanted me to stay here and help them. So they're narcissistic as well, and they hated to see that, and they tried to pull me back. And I've been stuck with them for a while now. So, but they didn't get what they wanted, bro. They've been literally, as it says in the scripture, God will prepare a seat and a table in front of all your enemies. And that's exactly, they hate that I am able to make money on YouTube now, even though still I'm very financially poor, they cannot stand it. They're just like, they give me dirty looks every single day. I catch them talking about me behind my back every single day. A few of them go to church and they still behave this way, which tells me that they've been going to church for 30 to 40 years plus, actually. Like, some of them have been doing this for a long time, and they still don't understand what Jesus was trying to say, which is crazy to me because I've only been studying this stuff for like I started reading the Bible a couple years ago, and this last year, because of my gang stalking, it's basically all I do now. I sit here and study and read and take notes and try to, pick it apart and figure it out. They've been going to church for like 40 years, and they feel like it's okay in the eyes of the Lord to hurt somebody physically and emotionally and lie about people and be narcissists. So it's crazy to me, but we must understand we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities of darkness at the end of the day, and they have demons on their bodies, bro. They spiritually, they're demonically possessed. So be mad at the devil. If you're going to be mad at anybody, we all have one common enemy, and it's Satan. So be mad at them, or be mad at the devil. Don't be mad at the people. Okay, guys. Shifty Chicken, what's up, Shiftmeister? What's going on, brother? Your energy is always amazing. As a female, since a young woman, I respect my sexual energy. Seta, God bless you. I salute you, because most women are giving their body out for crumbs. Literally, not even for just money, but for attention. And I was dating a narcissistic individual that was doing really similar stuff, man, like getting involved in sex trafficking rings behind my back, very addicted to sex. If I didn't have sex with her, shit, bro, this girl called me gay and stuff a few times, like, just because I was trying to get closer to God and I didn't want to have sex before marriage. That's where it got towards the end of the relationship. Now, at the beginning of the relationship, I was having sex with this person willingly, way too often, and I didn't realize just how bad I was offending my Father in heaven. So towards the end of the relationship, I started realizing how important that is, and I started saying no. Oh, dude, absolutely. At that point, then, she was trying to do anything that she could to get me to leave. So I chose to be homeless than to sit around her, because if sex is going to be the most important thing in the relationship and you're going to call me gay because I don't want to have sex before marriage, I can't have a good relationship with my Father in heaven around somebody like that. So I had to leave, and I was homeless for a little bit. But God is good, and that's why, even though I'm forced to be around some of the people who have been doing these things to me, I'm just grateful I got a roof over my head. So at the end of the day, we just got to be grateful for everything we have in our life, okay? And I would still take this over being homeless. So I've been through absolute hell just to stay away from my mom. When I was young, my mom used to give me the evil eye so bad it made me sick and uncomfortable to be around her. Oh, dude, listen, class just started. This just happened to me a week ago. I was explaining to my family members how important it is to fast, because like they were complaining about like how much food costs. So I tried to chime in there and give like a solution to the problem and be like, maybe you guys should just stop eating breakfast, and like you'd save a bunch of money if you didn't eat breakfast anymore. My mom got pissed off, dude. Excuse my language, but she got really mad when I said that, and she like gave me the evil eye, and she was like, "Well, yeah, you just think you know more than everybody." And I was like, "No," and I shut her down immediately, bro. I just told her, I was like, "No, actually, I don't think I know more than everybody. I think I know some things, and I'm trying to tell you some things I know, and you're the one that's making yourself believe that I know more than everybody. That's your problem, not mine." And she literally shut down after that. And I love my mother. I'm not trying to, but I am telling the truth, bro. And this is what they don't want me to do. They hate it. They don't want me telling the truth. They even went so far as to try and change the Wi-Fi password, which is in my name. The Wi-Fi is in my freaking name. They tried to pretend to be me on the phone, change the password so I couldn't make videos anymore. And God wasn't having that. So, one thing led to another. That didn't work. But they went very, very far to shut me down and get me to shut my mouth. So, and I'm going to tell the truth about it. I don't care what they say. So I wanted to get away from her by any means. So I fled to California with no money and made it. Yeah, wow. I actually can't speak on that too much just because of monitoring spirits, but I'm to the point where once I get a little bit of money made up and I can cash out from YouTube next month, which I'm very fortunate that some of you guys have donated to the channel, and I do got some money I'm able to get next month when I cash out from YouTube. I think I'm getting a ticket too, and the Lord has put a place specifically on my spirit over and over and over again, and I don't know why he wants me to go to that place specifically, but I think that's where we're going. And when it comes time to do that, I'll tell you guys more. I had nothing. Yeah. Do you guys know who Bryce? I don't know his last name, but that blonde kid that like street preaches and stuff, he seems like a really awesome kid, man. He was just saying the same thing that he had it on his spirit that God wanted him to move to, I think, California, if I'm being honest, and he had absolutely no money. And that guy has a lot of followers and stuff. I couldn't believe that he was saying stuff like that. But as we all know, man, walking with Jesus Christ isn't it very rarely is it going to bless you with $1 million. Okay, Jesus asked us to sell our belongings and give it to the poor. So it made sense to me after I thought about it a little bit more. And he was saying that God told him to go to California to preach and prophesy and be a street preacher, and that he didn't have any money, and he was praying to God for a little bit of money and stuff to help him out while he was out there, and he ran into somebody that gifted him $2,000, and that is just amazing to hear stuff like that. But I'm saying that because class just started, since you mentioned that a lot, like that's been on my spirit lately too, is getting a bus ticket and going where he told me to go, that I'm not able to tell you guys right now, but I know exactly where he wants me to go. And as soon as I'm able to, I think I'm going to take that step of faith and go with not that much money, with the clothes on my back, and we're going to see what happens. So thank you so much for actually saying that, because you encouraged me a little bit to do what he's been telling me to do. She spoke a lot of death and destruction on my life, but in understanding my mom, it is overwhelmed by the spirit of fear, and she projected onto me. I can definitely relate with that. Class just started. It's not your fault that your mom feels that way about you. It's something within her that she needs to deal with and take it to God. And same with mine, if I'm being honest. You know, somebody asked me on stream a couple weeks ago if my mom was proud of me for getting off dope and changing my life and turning my life around. No, not really. I hate to say that, bro. And I didn't answer it that night because it breaks my heart. But no, she's not. She still holds on to all the times that I was on heroin. I haven't been on heroin in like going on 6 years now. I've completely turned my life around. I'm walking into the path of becoming an entrepreneur and stuff. And I really started doing these things because I wanted her to be proud of me, and I wanted to make up for all those years that I hurt my family. And she's just not having it, bro. Like she's bitter. She's really bitter inside. And to feel that way about your kids, I can't even imagine what you have to be going through. Honestly, I can't even imagine. So fasting, it's not just about food. Whatever you're feeding your spirit, detach from the world as well. Yeah. Fasting isn't always about food. It could be fasting from technology, fasting from the internet, fasting from secular music, anything that you put more importance on over than God, essentially. And at one point in time, I was putting sex over God, lust over God. When I first started my channel, I was putting weed over God. I had to nip that in the bud and all types of stuff. So he doesn't want us to run to anything for comfort before him. Does that make sense, savages? So for all my day ones who roast pot, and I understand, okay, I smoked yesterday. It is what it is. I'll be real with you guys. For the first time in like 2 months, it was super freeing. Super freeing. We're going to talk about that later on tonight. But you don't want to run to any device or vice or person, place, or thing for comfort over the Lord. He wants you to go to him for all of your problems. He does not like seeing his children run to things of the world for comfort. I'm trying to make this sound as easy to understand as I possibly can. So for anxiety and depression, he doesn't want you to run to pot to cure that. He wants you to go to him to cure things like that. Does that make sense, guys? I can't stress that enough. It's super important to understand that. You would think that from outside that they are helping them, letting them stay there, but even that is with the intention of inflicting more harm. They want you close. Oh, yeah, monitoring spirits. This is what I was telling you around Thanksgiving and Christmas. They were trying to poison my food and do witchcraft on me and stuff like this. They tell me to my face that I should be grateful because they've let me stay here and stuff, but they just want to watch you because they don't want you talking. They don't want people figuring out what they've done because they can go to prison. Does that make sense? Especially when you're committing identity fraud and putting out false life insurance policies. And there are a lot of people involved in my case. So I'm just letting God sort all this out, on his own. And I'm just, doing what he places upon my spirit to do. But yeah, they want to watch you as much as possible. They want you close for the wrong reason, if that makes sense, guys. This is why for a long time I didn't talk about any of this. I was doing like gaming live streams, and I was even doing reviews still. right, the same days that I was getting chased in the woods, next day I was putting up reviews and just really trying to not even think about it or not tell anybody about it. And it's because I was being watched so heavily. They were watching me. When I turn my phone on, bro, and I start making videos and going live, if there's any of those people around me in the house at the time, they'll start like stopping what they're doing or like turning their TV down to listen to what I'm saying, or they'll like peek their head around the corner to make sure I'm not telling you guys about what they've done. I don't care, bro. If you don't want people knowing about what you've done, why did you do it for so long? Why? And you're bringing up Jesus's name. Why? That's one of the most evil things I've ever seen. And to know it's coming from some of my closest people, man, listen, that's where boundaries come in, guys. Okay? Yeah, all of it's illegal, bro. Gang stalking, the whole thing is illegal. It just is what it is. But because a lot of the people that are involved in it work for the government, people get paid off to turn the other way and stuff like that. We're literally witnessing a universal shift right now where it seems like all of the people who are getting gang stalked are starting to kind of go towards the path of getting justice. And that's the power of God, guys. It's not us. Let's be real. I got to be an example. It's not us. God pulls you out of the pit. We don't pull ourselves out of the pit. Absolutely not. In fact, one of the biggest things you're supposed to learn with your gang stalking is how to completely rely on God, just like Job did in the book of Job. Okay, guys? Let's, somebody literally just repeated the same comment, bro. Oh, a bunch of people that worked in the cannabis industry, my ex-girlfriends, both of them, two of them specifically, two of the ones that practice witchcraft, my immediate family, corrupt police officers got involved in it, 3 corrupt judges at this point now, 3 corrupt judges. The district attorney that they appointed to my case was involved with it at first until I kind of talked to her one-on-one, and then she seemed to change her mind and her heart got touched and a bunch of stuff. Chief prosecutor in Stark County, evil. If I was still a cursing man, I would have said something there, but I'm glad I didn't. Conviction of the Holy Spirit, evil. Those people shouldn't be working there. Those people shouldn't have positions of power to try and serve justice for other people when they're actively trying to ruin somebody's life. And God is going to take care of that. I have a feeling that they are going to lose their jobs. It just is what it is, man. Been noticing a lot of corrupt police officers getting caught. Lately, it's been on the news, especially in my hometown. I've been noticing it. A lot of police officers killing people, killing civilians illegally, and they're going to prison for it and all kinds of stuff, guys. God is working. I think my mom is involved too. Maybe they told her this will help you. No, maybe they paid her. Class just started. It's usually payment. And here's what they do to get your closest people involved in it, guys. They will start a slander campaign. For me personally, they were going around telling people that I prostitute myself and that I'm a dope dealer, just completely lying through their teeth. So they'll start with a story about you to paint you out to be a really bad person in the community, and then they'll follow it up with payment for them to watch you, stalk you, and do all these things. So it's those two things. That's how they get your closest people more oftentimes than not. And I've seen this across the board with all targeted individuals, okay? So they'll start with the negativity. They'll start with this picture they're painting out in your entire neighborhood that you're a bad person for the community. They've used like dope dealing. I've never sold drugs a day in my freaking life. I've used plenty of them, never sold drugs a day in my life. But they tried to say that about me. Literally, I had somebody that I worked with at Clutch Cannabis that tried to call the police on me on shift one day and tell the police that I brought drugs inside the store. I was the only sober person that was working that day. So that's absolutely crazy that that individual tried to do that. And then when it didn't work, I turned around. I was on the floor. Bro, I can't make this shit up. I turned around. I was on the floor, and this guy's like standing at the register like this, like mean mugging the F out of me, bro. He was so mad that it didn't work. It was absolutely hilarious, dude. Absolutely hilarious. And from that day, I knew he was involved in it. And just so happens that that individual just so happened to be an ex-Army veteran and a Freemason. And I know that because I kind of overheard him talking about it willingly to the other employees when he thought I was outside smoking. I came in and they're sitting there talking about Freemasonry. And I already knew that he was an ex-Army veteran. So it wasn't, listen, Detective Savage on the case. No, but I knew from that day forward. And once I figured that stuff out, that I was working with Freemasons and stuff, I had to leave. Had to put the boundaries in place. And I look, no matter how much I liked that job or how much I wanted it, it just wasn't the right time because there were too many people like that working there. And I'm not saying that I'll never do it again. This is why I'm doing the stream later tonight, guys. I want to talk to you guys about a lot of stuff, but I didn't just have the dream to work in the industry for no reason. And it's still been heavy upon my spirit. And I was really, really, really enjoying doing that, man, on the front line. There were so many people, so many like elderly ladies and old men that were coming in, bro. You wouldn't believe the demographic you see in those places. It's not what a lot of people think. It's mostly elderly people, especially in Ohio. I can't speak for the other states that are like more so recreational, but those people, man, coming in that were like really suffering with cancer and stuff and like really bad health problems. Some of the interactions I was able to have with those customers was like, it was divine. I can't really explain it any other way than that. There were customers that I was able to believe in God, even for that day, just by interacting with them. And it was the only job I ever had where I was able to have like interactions like that with the public. So I don't know, man. I don't know what God has for me going forward. Only He would know that. I just know what's been heavy on my spirit. And I'm going to be talking to you guys about that later on. But also at the time, too, I didn't fully explain this to you guys. So when I was making my videos and trying to build this channel up, God will not allow you to prosper in anything if you're around the wrong people. So first, He had to kind of show me, all the people around me that had evil in their heart and they hated me and they wanted bad to happen to me, but I didn't realize it. He's not even going to let you become successful if you're around people like that. So for me, one of the biggest things that I had to learn my lessons was how to have boundaries, especially as somebody who tries to see the good in everybody. And now that I have those boundaries, we're able to kind of step into this new season of my life. And I am telling you guys, He would not have allowed me to get this channel monetized if I didn't have my boundaries in place. I'm telling you guys this right now. And if you guys, you're a believer in Jesus Christ and you're trying to build a business and stuff, He's going to do, maybe it won't be gang stalking. It might not be to that extent, but He will show you in one way, shape, or form all the people around you that you have in your life that you don't need to have in your life before you're able to actually step into that season, because He's not going to allow anybody to stop you from prospering. But you have to make the decision out of your free will to kind of cut them out of your life willingly. And until you're able to do that, you're going to repeat that lesson. And honestly, I probably could have got the channel monetized a lot sooner if I would have cut those people out of my life sooner. He was trying to tell me this, bro, for so long. I wish I was making this stuff up, guys. He really did. He sent people to me at my job. He sent like little angels like out in public that were just telling me, hey, dude, there was one interaction that was just so out of left field and so divine, man. I met a stranger that absolutely had no idea who I was. And I was out in public with this one individual that I needed to get away from. They literally pulled me to the side and was like, hey, I don't know why, but I feel like that girl has really bad intentions for you. She's evil. You need to get away from her. And bro, that I'll never forget about that. And I've never seen this person since then, guys. It was like an angel that God sent to me. And then before my stalking started getting, like, it was right in front of my face. I had no idea that these people were investigating me or doing witchcraft on me for this long. I had no idea. But literally, like, stuff like that was happening to me all the time, though. But that was one of the biggest ones where I was like, what the heck, bro? I was out in public shopping and somebody just walked up to me and was like, I feel it so heavy. I have to tell you this. If you don't get away from her, something bad is going to happen. I swear to God, guys, my right hand to Christ. I'm telling you guys. And He will do the same things for you guys if you're on that path of stepping into alignment in your purpose and what He has on your life. If you got people in your life that don't need to be there, He is going to show you by force, and you will get rid of those people willingly. Okay, I'm telling you guys right now. He warned me for over a year. He let me kind of sit with it and simmer with it, and I suffered. I was being manipulated and attacked on the daily. What do you call that, man? Gaslit on the daily, literally being gaslit every single day. And I was miserable, bro. I was so miserable. I didn't feel good anymore. I didn't feel good about myself. And He literally allowed this situation. That's one of the big reasons I had to go through my gang stalking. And it's a spiritual test. I tell people this all the time. God is in control. He wouldn't be allowing you guys to go through stuff like that if there wasn't something you needed to learn. For me, I had to have boundaries, guys. It just is what it is. And now that I finally learned that, I'm able to step into this season of my life. And it's a beautiful thing. And then the situation I dealt with yesterday, I can't wait to talk to you guys more about that later. But, you know, letting go of those expectations and stuff and making myself believe that, you know, because of what other people expect me to do, I'm not allowed to live my dreams and stuff. That's buffoonery. That's from the devil. And that's not happening anymore. Okay, guys, they would just so love for me to give up everything that I've tried to build here. It's not happening. They can kick rocks. Every person that I was good to betrayed me. Oh, Seta, 4001. Don't feel bad. Every single person, like they say, guys, no good deed goes unpunished, okay? And we're living in a fallen world. We're living in a wicked world. And when you go out of your way to help other people, you're standing out, okay? People notice that. They don't understand it. They're scratching their head. Why are you just helping everybody? You're supposed to just do for yourself and be selfish. That's how you get ahead. Well, unfortunately, they don't see something that you guys understand, which is that none of us are perfect and we should be trying to love each other as much as humanly possible. God sees that, though. And if you study more about Jesus Christ and who he was, you're going to find out pretty quick that that's exactly his character as well. The one true Son of God loved everybody, forgave everybody, showed grace to everybody. Okay, so if you're moving like Jesus Christ, says here, let's just reiterate, okay? Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. This is why you want to forgive your enemies as quickly as possible, guys, okay? Now, let's finish this chapter here. We're going to run through the middle of chapter 6, and then that's going to be the daily devotional for the morning. And then I hope to see all you guys back later on. And I'm gonna put something out there, probably a video or a short, so that people know I'm going live about this tonight. But I'm going to be telling you guys some of the stuff that's going to happen in the channel going forward. And for all the people who have been with me 2 years ago and they've patiently waited through all my gang stalking and all this crazy stuff, this is especially going to be good news for those guys, okay? I've already said reviews are not returning here on the channel in the way I used to do them, but something is going to be coming to the channel soon that those people are really going to be excited to see. And I'm excited to tell them. I'm excited to tell all you guys too, all the new people too. Every person, or I am in solitude. I no longer like being around others. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm super introverted, and God is going to keep you in a season of isolation so that he can college you. It's almost like being schooled and colleged by the Lord himself, so that you can get educated and learn the stuff that he wants you to learn so that you can step into your divine purpose. So you're not going to be in isolation forever. Just understand that. Okay. Seeing the good in others is how I got into trouble. Yeah, me too. Me too, Seta. This is exactly what I'm trying to tell you guys. I wouldn't have had to go through my gang stalking if I learned how to put boundaries in place with other people. And now I've learned my lesson, so I can kind of step into the next phase of my life and my purpose and be in alignment with, you know, what God really wants me to be doing here. So until I learned how to let go of the people that were doing that to me, he wouldn't let me step into this, which is the most beautiful season of my life I've ever seen, even though, you know, from the outside in, it might look like I've lost everything and, you know, I'm poor and all this type of stuff. Yes, but I am rich in spirit. Okay, so when the money does come back into my life, it's not going to ruin my life. It's not going to ruin me. And when snakes come in and try to manipulate me and get into my life for the wrong reason so that I can take care of them and stuff like that, I have boundaries now. So that stuff's not going to work anymore. Do you see why every single thing we go through is meant for us to learn something from it? As you speak right now, the same for me. And there's one individual. You're married to this person. Do you guys live together? Or are you just married and you're done with them? I would encourage you to divorce that person if they're manipulating you and treating you like crap. Okay? And don't be scared to do it neither. God will protect you through that. Okay? If it's an individual that's hurting you on purpose, he wants you to get away from him. So I would get that divorce. What the heck? I see, you're a chosen one. That's why I say you're a generational curse breaker. All of us have very similar experiences, guys. Narcs hate boundaries. Oh, absolutely. So I was saying this a little bit ago, guys. Once you figure out how to have boundaries, you're not going to be dealing with narcissists in your life anymore in the same way that you guys are now, because they can see that. They can see who has boundaries and who don't. That's how they target you. They can kind of see, oh, look at this guy. He ain't got no boundaries at all. I can just run all over this one. Now we got dinner tonight, boys. That's how a narcissist thinks in their head about the empath. So once they come across somebody that doesn't feel that way and they can clearly see, oh, he's a good person, but he ain't letting people walk all over him, they won't even approach you. Okay. And put that into practice. You can see it for yourself, guys. To untrust me, but verify it for yourself. The woman who stopped me said that I was being cheated on, and she was correct. Oh, yeah. She saw my hands and begged me for her sister to read my palm. Oh, yeah. Class just started, too. I'll try to answer both you guys' comments. Yeah, two birds with one stone. Class just started, said, yeah, I don't think the gang stalking would succeed without the help of narcissistic family members. Yeah. If you're a black sheep and you're a generational curse breaker, you can bet your sweet butt that most of your family members are narcissistic. Okay, because God wouldn't put a curse breaker in the family if a curse didn't need to be broken. Does that make sense, savages? Okay, and for my family specifically, I got the curses of toxic relationships. Every single one of my family members ends up getting with a narcissist themselves, and they don't leave them. They end up staying with them and just getting abused. A lot of my closest family members are dealing with that right now, and I have got the pleasure of being the example of leaving my narcissistic relationships, and now I'm not going back to them, whereas I used to go back. I used to leave constantly, but I'd always go back because I'd start feeling bad and stuff, and like I made a mistake. I don't feel like that anymore. By the grace and glory of God and Jesus Christ, I now have boundaries. And you know what I used to tell myself, guys, for real? This is crazy, bro. I used to literally tell myself that God would be upset with me if I didn't take care of the narcissist. That's too far, bro. That's a level of unconditional love that is actually toxic for yourself. And I know that sounds like, how is that possible? But as all these people in the chat who have dealt with it themselves are saying, I had the same experience. Yeah. We understand as empaths what it's like to be manipulated and used by a narcissist. They abuse the heck out of you every single day. That's all they live for. They love it. They get your supply, your energetic supply to the narcissist. They lack energy within themselves. They don't have the ability to be happy on their own. They have to like have sex and do drugs and like hurt other people and manipulate people to get that dopamine hit so that they can feel good. It's almost like being in addiction, essentially, just not to heroin or stuff like that, but it's a different thing. Just like serial killers are addicted to the rush. They get addicted to the rush they feel when they murder somebody. So the longer it goes on, their addiction gets worse and they have to kill more people and more people and more people to feel that same rush. Just like Ted Bundy, if you guys research that guy a little bit, he literally explains it just like that before they executed him. Because when I wouldn't talk to my mom for a while, she would ask me a question. Only we would know because she said she wanted to make sure it was me talking to her. Like she thought someone else had my phone. She has done that twice. It sounds like she's trying to play with you. Definitely sounds like she's trying to manipulate you. As much as it's hard because she's your mom, I'd probably just create that boundary. I really would. Seta, they have overwhelmed me terribly. He still thinks that he is gaslighting me. This is bananas. Much of what you have talked about, I have experienced as well. Try your best to not talk to that guy. Try your best to not feed into his negativity. And the more he starts realizing, this is for Seta, the more he starts realizing that his attacks are not getting through to you, he's going to stop doing it over time, because a narcissist is really the same as a schoolyard bully, and they want a reaction out of you. So if you're not giving them one, and I know it's difficult to get to this point, guys, especially when they really try to hurt you bad. I know it's hard to not react to it. Just try your best to give it all to God. The more you talk to God when you're feeling upset and like angry and irritated because of what they're doing, the better you're going to feel. You're going to feel that internal peace that Jesus literally died on the cross for all of us to have, okay? As it says in the Bible, the truth shall set you free. Well, what's the truth? Jesus Christ is the truth, the way, and the life, okay, guys? So once we realize that, you're going to be able to have a lot more of that internal peace naturally every single day. So whatever he is doing, without putting like too much of your personal thing on here, unless you want to, that's up to you, Seta. But I would ignore all the negativity that guy tries to put on you. And I would also start like sowing seeds in the works of fully getting away from him by divorcing him and not being scared of doing so. Because a lot of people stay in marriages like that because they're scared of what that guy might do. you're protected by the Lord. You're protected by Yahweh, the Most High God. He wants you to get away from that person. And you probably already know deep down that to be the case, okay? Take it from somebody who suffered with this for like 4 years straight, and I could not create boundaries for nothing. I just kept putting up with this abuse. My life just got worse and worse and worse, man. The more I put up with that stuff, it's very hard. The longer you put up with it too, it almost like you build it up so big in your head, the idea of walking away from them, that it feels impossible to do. And I was one of the worst guys. So if I can get away from my narcissist, I believe in you guys, and so does God. And I know you guys can get away from them. And if you feel like I used to, that I was powerless, there was no way I was going to get away from these people, start praying about it. Please take it to God and pray about it, okay? And he's going to listen. He's going to hear every single word you guys have to say. I promise. Mikey, God bless you, brother. That is awesome to hear. And I really am happy to hear stuff like that, man. And when I see a happy family, it makes me warm inside because I know it's still possible. Because Godspeed, listen to this, Warlock, bro. He says, I'm going to break through the firmament with pure magic. Yeah, you think too highly of yourself, brother. I hate to say that, but it's true. Oh, Seta, thank you so much for saying that. Thank you so much for saying that. I mean, you touched my heart. I'm serious because sometimes I wonder how good of a job I'm doing. I pray to God about it all the time. But clearly it's working. I get comments from people every single day telling me that my testimony is helping them and stuff. That's exactly why God wanted me to do it. So if it's helping any of you guys, just know you guys help me too. You really do. We're building a community here for generational curse breakers, targeted individuals, people that deal with narcissism. You guys already know how it feels to not have a voice, and you guys definitely have one here. So I just want to make that clear. There's no judgment here ever for anybody. And you're always welcome to share your trauma and the stuff that you've been through here safely, okay? We transmute and alchemize negativity here, so no matter what people try to say in the chat, ignore them. All of us need to be ignoring them, guys, and they will leave eventually, just like a narcissist does. They go on to easy targets. They don't want to work too hard to get that energy, like a dope addict doesn't want to work too hard to get their dope, okay? A narcissist feels the same exact way, and they also don't want to work very hard to attain the, high vibration that the empath can attain because, I don't know, they lack that energy within themselves, but everybody can attain that internal peace. Is what Jesus died on the cross for. And especially for the narcissistic individual, I get them on the streams every single day. I hope you guys can take away from something too. I hope you guys can take something away from the stream too and just realize that you don't have to treat people that way to be happy. Okay? God sees you guys too, and he wants you guys healed. He loves you too. I recently put my foot on his neck, and I know I passed this test. Are we back? Boys, are we back? I think, yeah. So my internet just went out. I didn't know what was going on. By the grace and glory of God, though, we got it back. We're probably going to wrap up stream here soon anyway. We've been going for a while. But for anyone wondering, I don't know what just happened, bro. This storm that's coming in here in a couple days is supposed to be pretty serious. So I expect technological difficulties and like synchronicities and stuff like this. But wow. Yeah, guys, for anyone coming back, I don't know what just happened, man. My internet just literally went out for a couple minutes, and by the grace and glory of God, we're back. So I don't know. But regardless, man, I think we are going to wrap up stream here. I'm just going to give some people some time to check back in if they so choose, just so I can kind of tell you guys what just happened. I don't know. Thank goodness it came back. God told me stop playing it small. Oh yeah, Steta. If you're still here in the stream, he told me the same thing. I was playing myself small for way too long, boys. For way too long. Because I don't like attracting attention to myself. But when God has a big purpose on you in your life, hey man, you gonna do it whether you like it or not. So I had to get over that at some point and stop playing so small. Start believing in yourself a little bit more. God believes in you, okay? And you're a generational curse breaker. Do you even realize what that means, man? Yeah, there's something very special about you, okay? And you're meant to do big things here. What those things are, I don't know, but you're definitely meant to break the generational curses in your bloodline, so that all the people that come in the next generation in your family line can kind of see you, and you're going to be the example in your family for everything to start changing. Okay. So for me, my generational curses in my bloodline are addiction, gambling addiction, drug addiction, people in bad relationships, toxic relationships, getting involved with people that are in satanic worship and stuff. And because they're seeing me not put up with it anymore, that's going to start to change the rest of your family. So that's why it's super important to pass your test, because it's not just about us guys. It's about other people as well. It's bigger than us. So it's very important that we learn these lessons and pass these tests. Okay, I can't stress that enough. Godspeed. Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, brother. If you're talking about vibration and stuff like that, yeah, vibration's a real thing. I mean, everything's made up of energy, but a lot of people don't understand, man. Most of these spiritual teachings and stuff that people are teaching actually originates from the Word of God. And a lot of these spiritual teachers never talk about God. They never talk about Jesus Christ. They're leading the flock astray. So, that never going to be me. I'm always going to give you guys the real. And if your belief isn't rooted in God and Jesus Christ, you're off track. Somewhere along the line, you've got off track. Okay. And this is exactly why it's so important to, have faith in God and stuff, because if not, you start ending up like this individual who starts feeling like they have the power to break through the firmament. Whatever. I don't know, bro. That's how Satan feels. He feels like he's more powerful than God himself. We don't ever want to start feeling like that, boys and girls. All right, guys. It's been a really good stream. We ran for 3 hours this morning. I'm going to leave it with this, okay? I'm going to recite verse 13 one more time because it's super important. Maybe the biggest lesson of today's stream, okay? You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its savor, wherewith shall it be salted? It is thenceforth good for nothing, but to be cast out and to be trodden under the foot of men. So no matter, synchronicity here, 444, I love it. So no matter how many people try to attack you guys, especially the TIs, never lose your light, because you're meant to be an example of what light looks like. You're the salt of the earth, as Jesus says. So no matter what they do to you, don't start getting out of alignment with Jesus Christ. Don't start not loving people unconditionally. Don't start holding bitterness inside of your heart. That is what they're trying to do. They're trying to pull you away from God so you can't step into your purpose. You're the salt of the earth. You're the light of the earth. Be an example. And as it says here, what does he mean by salt? The purpose of salt is to preserve from corruption, as well as give flavor or influence in the case of Christians in the world. So you're not supposed to be corruptible. You're not supposed to let any outside influence kind of change who you are inside. You already have the light within you. It radiates very brightly. That's why you're being gang stalked. Never lose that light, guys. And I do mean never. Okay. So with that being said, we're seeing a lot of synchronicities the last 2 days, guys. I love it. When you guys start noticing synchronicities in your own life, that's basically just God's way of telling you that you're on the right track. You're on the right path. So I love each and every single one of you savages. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your morning to join the stream. And all the day ones, especially for you guys, and everyone's welcome. Stay tuned later on tonight for the next live stream, because we're going to be talking a lot of good stuff that's coming to the channel very, very soon. I'm so excited to let you guys know about this stuff. I feel like a kid right now, honestly, if I'm being 100% real. And I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, man. Please keep it in the light and with the Lord Jesus Christ and the Holy and Heavenly Father. And I'll see you guys soon, man. Peace. And have a blessed day. Spread positivity, guys. Not negativity, not hate. Love and positivity. Okay?